Hello. Welcome back. Hi. Got some fun stuff today. By that I mean, I'm gonna do my first. Cameron, did I tell you? I'm breaking into React content today. What? Okay. Very excited. Hold on, I'm looking. All right. I know what I'm gonna watch today. I'm gonna watch the entire complete canon timeline. No, I'm not gonna start with that, but it would be. Let's start with. Oh, I don't want to. We'll see. Figure something out. But yes, welcome. Today we are making a really cool figure that I've been waiting for. For those of you who don't know, I have a cool little set of Mandalorian figures. I really like the show. And I really like Black Series as a whole. I have even more over there. So yeah. I wanted to get the new Mandalorian Black Series, but I previously on this channel, and you can still find it on the VODs channel. Cool. It's really cool. It's a Stormtrooper. Comes with two different styles of Stormtrooper. That's the same size and more like detailed and more posable and has more like configuration. It's just cool. So I figured I'd buy the model kit for the Mandalorian, which has posable hands, the Darksaber, all sorts of cool stuff. I figured that could be kind of fun. That's what I'm gonna do. That's really it. That's the whole thing. That's what we're doing. So we have, hold on, let me switch to, we need to do some quick. Adjustment. All right, we're on Bluetooth power now. Got tools. Boom. We have the Mandalorian. Hold on, I'm curious. Here we go. There is a delay in this camera. Interesting. What is that? Good to know now. It's fine. Fine for a top down. But yes. We have the Mandalorian. Normally priced at $55, but I got it on Black Friday. Or no, I got it the day after Christmas on sale at my local comic shop. I am a subscriber there, so I get 5% off my stuff. And they were running 30% off all toys the day after Christmas. So I got it for 35% off. Not bad deal. Pretty happy about that. Now already, there is a lot here. Oh, I was worried about this. It even comes with a cape. It has a little cape. Oh, I was wondering about that. Oh, that's so cool. Okay. There's a lot to unpack here. Here's what we're gonna do. Ugh. We're gonna leave this box like this. We're gonna leave some stuff in here. But I don't fit them. Or it has instructions on cutting out parts. Interesting. What the hell? That was weird. All right. We're gonna put this here. Side. Side. So that I have a full work surface. Nothing important. All right. Now, tools, phone, we're ready. Rocket. Rolling. It doesn't actually seem too bad. There's only 1, 2, 5, 7, 8 sheets. Plastic. But I don't know. Oh, and it walks you through part by part. Oh, that's really nice. Okay, so we start with the first part right here, which is the torso. All right, not bad. Move this just a wee bit. All right. I think the plan is let's open up everything. That way I'm not wrapping stuff around, right? One of the best things I did to this room was add a trash can under my desk. Changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. All right. Go ahead and we're gonna put the stickers in the box because we don't need stickers yet. Stickers are not necessary for this yet. All right, so we have D. There's definitely not hair on my face. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. Interesting. All right. This is that's D F. Oh, this is just the stand. But E B and D. That makes this A. Nice. All right. We're gonna rock and roll into this, and I want to watch some videos. Let's look at Star Wars Explained. Let's find out. Start with the real reason Anakin Skywalker killed young. We're gonna start here.
There are too many of them. What are we going to do?
What are we going to do? I love this little child. Poor little kid.
Hey everyone, we've all seen that part in episode 3 where Anakin has
All
just helped Palpatine kill Mace Windu.
This
by
is so
slicing
sad.
His hand off, and was
What a
knighted
turn for
as
him.
Darth Vader.
All right, we're
Joining
getting
the ranks as
A6.
Darth Sidious's apprentice and fulfilling Darth Bane's ancient rule.
All right, we're
of
gonna start
2.
right here.
After
Oh,
this
God.
scene, we hear Palpatine tell Anakin,
Every single Jedi, including our friend Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Obi-Wan.
is now an enemy of the Republic. We must move.
I love him just accepting that. Like, no questions asked, because he wants to save his
And not
girl.
destroyed. It will be civil war without end.
which means that if the Jedi, including the younglings, learned about this betrayal, they could have informed senators such as Bail Organa, and there would be
Civil war.
Inevitably, of course, Bail did see
We
what
already-
was happening, and despite Palpatine's
We did a
plans,
civil war, though,
a war did
so-
eventually break out. It was the will of the
Oops.
Force that the Jedi ordered be wiped out of existence, to the last Padawan. Their crime? Swearing allegiance to the Galactic Senate, placing the will of the people over the will of the Force, even when the will of the people was corrupted by politics or fear,
Rude.
defining good as the common good and not the will of the Force itself. Only Qui-Gon Jinn followed
Religious
the Force like
zealot.
religion. He let the Force guide his actions. All other Jedi were sworn to use the Force according to the will of the people and the Council, to use the Force against its will, essentially, even the Padawans. So on the surface, if you're not an in-depth Star Wars fan, the reason for Anakin to kill the Jedi was to distinguish any possible flare of Jedi
Yeah.
in the future to uprise and hunt them down in the shadows and foil any of their plans to come.
Was that
But
confusing to
by the
anybody?
young-
Was anybody not
They were
understanding
so
that?
insignificant.
They didn't want
If you watch
Jedis
the
coming back?
commentary during that scene, Lucas dubs that Anakin had to kill them in case one of those kids came back
Yeah.
later to get them. There's another reason that only.
Wait,
few
I thought this
people
was gonna have, like,
were
some
to go
serious,
down
like,
with this.
insight.
Anakin was no stranger to letting his hatred consume him. The big thing about the dark side is that once you slip and allow yourself to be fully consumed by it,
Nonsense.
turning back is no easy move. Also, a big thing to remember is that he was simultaneously terrified of losing Padme. He just got a front row demonstration of the power of the dark side. By agreeing to be Palpatine's apprentice, he was agreeing to carry out his orders 100% or face a punishment.
He literally
far
just
worse
took
than
the
death
job,
for
though.
himself and his loved ones.
Like, you
This
can't be
isn't the first
expecting
time
somebody to
he's killed
perform
innocent
full
children.
job duties the
them all.
day they get hired. He needs an orientation period, right?
They're
Like,
dead. Every single one of them.
that's kind of crazy.
And not just the men,
The women and children, too.
but the women. And the children, too.
Yeah, he did have he was
However,
inclined
this is
to
all
kill women
well
and children.
perceived and suspected by any member of the audience, but that's not our job as fans, is it? We go much deeper than the surface.
Well-
The main reason Anakin killed the younglings was to submerge himself into the dark side, killing off Anakin completely and being reborn.
I wanted to feel the dark
Darth
side.
Vader. Now, if you haven't checked out the Darth Vader comics, I highly recommend it. But for those
Yeah,
who
I do
haven't,
too.
we're
Darth
gonna
Vader
go over
comics
it
are kind of
quickly here.
cool.
Specifically,
I love
in
them.
issue 24, we see he has visions and dreams of himself battling Anakin on Mustafar in a
They also
clash
add so
of
much.
evil versus good. Ultimately, the evil side always winning until the very moment Luke finally breaks through to him.
All right,
At the end
we
of
got
Return of the
a
Jedi.
piece of a
Anakin
torso.
wanted nothing more than to save Padme and become the most powerful Jedi in the
Little
galaxy.
things in there
Dark
ourselves.
or light, it didn't matter.
Nonsense.
The more evil,
Nonsense.
unthinkable deeds a Sith practices, the more cemented
All
they
right.
are to the dark side, making them more powerful.
We
more
need
hateful,
A9.
and more in pain. Just like when Kylo killed his own father, Han Solo, he knew it was hard for him. You can see the tears in his eyes before he does it, but he knew this was the path he wanted. So by killing
But then
him,
he ultimately
there was
does-
no turning back. You don't just slaughter your family face to face, then go back to the light side and forget
This is
everything
my
you did.
least favorite part
That
about this
haunts you
is like
forever,
that he knew what
as
he
I'm sure
wanted.
killing the younglings
I
haunted
view these
Anakin.
people as like children,
As you can
right? It's
see,
like you don't know what
he
you
has
want.
tears
You're
later
just
on
making
as
a
well,
decision because you think it's what you
remorseful
want,
in
then you're
the
gonna
path
regret it
he's
later.
chosen and the
Terrible.
things he's
Yeah.
done, but inevitably doing it for the greater good of his selfish desires, or so he foolishly thought.
Yep.
In my opinion, on a side tangent, if the Sith learned to create life and stop others from dying, so could the Jedi. As I've explained in my Could Master Yoda Create Life video, which I highly recommend you check out after this one. Now, you remember in The Force Awakens when we saw Kylo constantly banging on his wound that Chewbacca had delivered to him with his Wookiee bowcaster after
Yeah, that was cool
Solo
though. I kind of
during
love
the final
that.
battle scene with Rey and Finn. Why was he doing this? It was to create more pain for himself and bleed harder, creating more hatred and anger, allowing himself to
really?
draw more power from the dark side. Now ask yourself
Interesting
this.
take.
Have you ever been in so much physical pain that you sometimes enjoy it?
No.
That it makes you feel more angry or tough if you feel more pain. That's
No, see,
exactly
I
what
thought he was
happens
doing
in
the
all
thing
these
where it's like,
situations. Anakin
when your
wanted more
adrenaline's
pain
rushing, you
to
don't
dive
feel the pain
deeper into the
or
dark
whatever. So I
side
thought he was like
and
trying to
pledge
like
himself in
kickstart
Palpatine's
that.
teachings,
He could
proving
fight
his
through the
loyalty
pain.
to
I didn't
Emperor,
read it as
who
that.
was
But that's
his key
interesting.
master through the gates into unlimited
Mario, what's up?
Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please join the
What is
Facebook
going
group for all the
on? We made a little
behind-the-scenes
piece.
and contests on there.
Made a tiny
Check
little
out these
thing
fanfictions if you get bored.
that goes
I hope you
on the
enjoy
neck.
them.
We're
Until
building a
tomorrow's episode
Mandalorian
of Star
today.
Wars Theory. Stay mindful.
Very
fellow
exciting.
Giants
We're
and
building
friends.
a
Until
Mandalorian
then,
at 1/12 scale. Very exciting. Very exciting. And we're doing some React content, aka I'm just like killing time while waiting. Here we go. We got a neck joint now, Mario. We have a neck. Very cool. Now we have to make his little torso to down here on. All right, let's. That was interesting. I don't really think that was a great video.
Well, then the droid does.
It's kind of niche, but I guess when you're Star Wars Theory and you make like 1 billion 1,500 videos in just a Star Wars Explained playlist, they kind of get nitty gritty, right? You know what a good one for me would be? Because I'm in the middle of Rebels. This character was just introduced, and apparently they're probably going to be really big still. We could watch Who is Grand Admiral Thrawn. And I know he was really big in Legends, but I have 0 Legends. Like none whatsoever. I'm very big canonical Star Wars. Trying to find something. Let's watch. Let's find some Mandalorian specific. How about that? How the Mandalorian proves the Empire was right. Kind of
Here's
here
a
for
fun
this.
fact. At the 2007 American Psychiatric Association's annual meeting, a psychiatrist by the name of Eric Bowie argued that Anakin Skywalker meets 6 of the 9 diagnostic criteria for borderline personality
Holy crap.
disorder, 1 more than the 5 needed for an official diagnosis. Now, I bring this up for 2 reasons. First, to show that
For
I'm not the
18?
only crazy person out there applying real-world diagnostics to fictional
To
worlds,
fictional
but
characters?
secondly, to
Yeah.
emphasize a point I made in my previous Star Wars theories. The Jedi are low-key the bad guys of the prequel films. Studies of
Little bit.
borderline personality
They're holier
disorder
than
have
thou.
found that 31 and 58%
Their
of
hubris
cases
is their
are caused
downfall.
by environmental conditions, factors like
30 and
emotional
31.
physical abuse and neglect. For instance, a young child being whisked away from his only living parents at a young age and
Okay,
not being
but that
allowed
was
to
for
see
his
them again
benefit
while
because they
being
thought he was
told
the
to
chosen
repress
one and they were
all
trying to not
emotion,
make sure he
just
didn't go to the
what
dark
happened
side. So
to
like,
Anakin in the first movie is a confident, self-reliant
Kinda
young man.
shitty,
Sure, he and his
but
mother
done
lived
for
in
the right
slavery, but
reasons.
they're getting by just fine. Fast forward to him after years of Jedi training, and suddenly he's impulsive, insecure, emotionally stunted.
I would say
and
he was
unstable,
impulsive
all
before.
classic
He entered the
symptoms of
race
borderline personality disorder.
pretty
Just
fucking
saying, it's
easily
not just me, Joe
against
Schmo, YouTubers
Sebulba.
saying this sort of stuff. It's teams of real-world psychiatric experts presenting their findings to
All right,
other
we got a little,
professionals out
we got
there
a
in the
hip
field.
joint
And
now.
with all that being said, now it's time to talk about how the Empire wasn't all that bad.
Here we go. Hip joint. Now he's got
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Film Theory, the show that
Film.
likes to play devil's
This is a TV show,
advocate,
though.
or should I say, dark side's advocate.
The dark side of the Force is a pathway to many abilities. Some
All right, so the first thing we do is that. Now we're gonna actually do helmet, which is
Unnatural?
kind of
Sign me up. Or something
awesome.
like that. Oh, natural
Kind
stuff
of
was some
cool.
great hippy-dippy nonsense. Previously on Film Theory, we discussed the idea that maybe the Jedi aren't actually the impeccable paragons of virtue they're made out to
Okay,
be.
need the
Uncovering that if you step
frickin'
back from the
tape.
biased perspective of the movies and just take an objective look at the Order's actions, a lot of it ranges from neglectful to abusive to downright exploitative. At the very least, consider this. In Rise of Skywalker, we're given this whole subplot about Finn and Janna being raised and indoctrinated into the
Okay, it says be
Stormtrooper
careful. It
ranks.
literally says be careful not to tear the cloth cloak.
We were conscripted
Which
as kids.
scares
I was
bit.
TZ-1719.
So it looks like.
I never knew there were
Oh
more.
my god, I'm gonna
This is
tear
seen
it.
as a bad action in the world of these movies, and yet the Jedi Order has been doing the
hell?
exact same thing since the prequels. It is a foundational part of their recruitment.
He is to be trained then?
My freaking brows are closed.
We just never see it that way because the movies bias us against that point of view. Which is why today I'd like to take it one step further. The Empire
There we go.
wasn't all
Now we're
that
back.
bad. The entire Galactic
Okay.
Republic was a failure. It was
So,
riddled with flaws. To put it simply, the hard
hold the
truth is
little
this. The galaxy was
mirror.
better off under the rule
Let's
of
do it on the-
Palpatine. Now, I'm not talking about blowing up planets. Admittedly, that was a pretty huge evil thing, and we're gonna get to that.
Yeah,
But
that's kinda
really,
shitty.
I'm
Not
talking
gonna
about
lie.
the daily lives of ordinary citizens, the everyday moisture farmers
The
out there
everyday
minding their
moisture
own
farmer.
business in their little corner of the universe.
All right, so
Sure,
you do
behind
that,
the
then you
closed
flip this
doors,
whole thing
Emperor
back.
Palpatine is secretly a Sith Lord who can shoot lightning bolts from his hands. Definitely seems evil, but no one knows that. Heck, that'd be like if the President of the United States was secretly a member of the Illuminati. You
hold
never
on.
know. I mean, seriously, maybe he can shoot lightning from his hands. The long and short of it is this. From an outward policy perspective, the Empire wasn't all that bad, and the
Well-
Republic just fails in a lot of very basic duties. But we never get to see any of this because the movies are framed with the rebellion being the hero.
That is
With
true,
said,
but we do
let's
get to
dig
see
in.
them being
One thing that
shitty
got me thinking about
later.
all this was rewatching the first season of The Mandalorian. There was one line in the finale of season 1 that really caught my attention, delivered by Werner Herzog's character, the Client.
The Empire improves every system it touches, just by any metric. Safety, prosperity.
It's really easy to say we improved safety by making sure you have no rights.
To
Can't
what
do
is
anything.
happening now, look outside. Is the world more peaceful since the revolution? I see nothing but death and chaos.
Now, of course, we can't just automatically accept everything that he's saying at face value. After all, he's the bad guy, and from the way he says "we" when talking about the Empire,
That's
you can
true.
assume that he was affiliated
That's
with them,
true.
meaning he's not exactly the most unbiased person. But the Mandalorian
All right, here we go.
shows us that the Client isn't the only one who
So,
seems
on
to
the
feel
back
that
of
the New
D20,
Republic
we
hasn't been doing their job of
add-
keeping the galactic peace. Look no further than this line from Episode 3 between Mando and Grief.
All that are left are mercenaries and warlords, but if it bothers you, just go back to the core and report them to the New Republic.
That's a joke.
As a reminder, this
Oof.
is a conversation that's taking place several years after the New Republic won in Return of the Jedi, replacing the rule of the Empire as the legitimate galactic government. And in this one line, we
But
see
this-
the idea that the New Republic would actually send a peacekeeping force to Navarro is actually so laughable that Mando considers it a joke. It's almost like that entire part of the galaxy is a neighborhood
There we
where
go.
it's not even
All
worth
right,
calling
it's
the
on.
cops because the cops never come. The New Republic is failing in some of the most basic duties of governance here, leaving it up to Mando and his friends, the bounty
Then-
hunters, to clean up the mess that the Republic is ignoring. It's not all that far
Hold
off from
on,
what
this
the Client
is
just
weird.
said. All
Okay, so
he
it says you put it
sees
on here
is
like this,
death and
right?
chaos. What we're learning here is that overthrowing a government is a whole heck of a lot easier than
And-
building up new governments to effectively
Flip.
replace them. In fact, places like Mandalorian's Navarro
This-
being ignored by the Republic isn't just sloppy oversight, it appears to
I'm
be the
so
Galactic
confused.
Republic's full-on policy.
Hold
I mean,
on.
have you ever stopped
I'm so confused. Ah, I made a mistake. I made a mistake. I know what mistake I made. I know what mistake I made.
Consider what the
I just don't know if I can undo the
Empire
mistake.
stood for, how it ruled, or what the New Republic was planning on doing differently.
The instructions need to be more clear.
Mainstream stuff doesn't really get into these details because it's so concerned with space wizarding adventures. But in some of the extended universe stuff that's now considered legends,
okay.
we learn from Grand
It is
Moff
what it is.
Tarkin,
Okay,
5 years
all right.
after
Here's
the
where
creation of the Empire,
I
what
am
the
in
Empire's
the middle of
goal
a streaming. Cameron,
Yeah,
would you like to say something to stream?
Yeah, I'll take the flex arm I got you for Christmas back if you only think it's okay.
Fine, I'll take your Dyson back.
My Dyson's great. I love
it.
Yeah, I love it so much you can't take it back. But this is only okay.
It is only. And what? What are you gonna do about it?
Not him having a Lego.
It's better than a Lego cape, and it actually looks kind of cool when it's on here. And the instructions are hella confusing for this cape, but I'm very excited about it. So here's where I went wrong. So you're supposed to flip this back down. Once holes on top of there. There you go, right? And then you attach it. Right?
And then his head.
And it's supposed to be on here. That's his neck joint, right? Then you flip the whole thing back over.
Double.
Hold on. There we go. And it gives that cool, like, little look to it there on the shoulder. I'm very excited about it. It looks so cool. Nope. All right. Back to the video. Sorry, I just needed that pause so I could figure out my
In his speech
mistake.
outlining what's known as the Tarkin Doctrine, we get this. The factor that contributed most to the demise of the Republic was
E
not,
now.
in
This is
fact,
E.
the war, but rampant self-interest. And in the end,
We need
left
E and
the body
F.
politic feckless and corrupt. Consider the self-interest of the core
E, F.
worlds, unwavering in their exploitation of the outer
And
systems
there we
for
go. Okay.
resources. The
Let's
outer
get this helmet
systems
built.
themselves undermined by their permissive disregard of smuggling and slavery. Those ambitious members of the Senate who sought only status and opportunity. By
True.
partitioning the galaxy into regions, we, the Empire, actually achieve a unity previously absent. Where once our loyalties and allegiances were divided, they now serve one being, with one goal, a cohesive galaxy in which everyone prospers. For the
Well,
first
that's
time
the
in
goal
1,000
you say. That's not
generations,
necessarily
our
the goal that
sector
the
governors will
Emperor
not be working
says.
solely to enrich Coruscant and the core worlds, but to advance the quality of life in the star systems that make up
I
each
hate model
sector,
kits because
keeping
I
the
am not
spaceways safe,
good
maintaining
at
open and
being
accessible
precise.
communications, assuring that tax revenues are properly levied and allocated to improving the infrastructure. That doesn't sound all that evil. In fact, it sounds pretty sweet for the outer system planets who, based on what Tarkin is saying, was getting abused by
Hades.
the core worlds under
Hades?
the Republic system.
Oh. Oops. That's what you have to say for yourself, Hades. Oops. I haven't even...
Good job, Hades.
I haven't even added the... There we go. 5 minutes. Let's see if we can do this. He
It
said,
sounds like
"Oop."
it was kind of like in the Hunger Games. The outer districts were stuck giving all their best resources to the capital, and they themselves were left to suffer and starve. This is exactly what we're seeing in Navarro and the Mandalorian, and it's exactly what Tarkin is saying was happening before the Empire took over. And honestly, not only does the Empire's plan sound more fair to everyone involved, but it's also a more manageable
I
system
wouldn't
of
say it
governance.
sounds
The
more
galaxy is a
fair
huge,
to everyone
massive place,
involved.
so the only only way to properly keep track of everyone
MatPat
under the
is
to divide it up into smaller sectors to be
Empire
overseen
apologist.
in chunks, which,
Confirmed.
reading up on the Empire is how the Moff and Grand Moff hierarchy was built. A permanent class of Moffs and regional governors were established to more efficiently govern individual sectors and regions within the Empire. That's how smaller places like Navarro
all right. We
don't
have
get
the
ignored
bandolier.
under the Empire.
The bandolier
And
has
it
been
works.
cut
As we
out.
learn about the short story, The
This
Guns
is
of
so hard without
Frodo
glasses, by the way.
Empire manages to restore order and rule of law in 8 separate sectors, liberating 95 worlds. According to the Essential Guide for Warfare, this was a time of celebration as the rule of law gets returned to sectors that had long been taken over by piracy and crime.
The
Citizens who
bandolier.
were disillusioned by the corrupted Galactic Senate were now given a new hope, and their name wasn't Luke Skywalker, it was, well, whatever their Empire-appointed local governor was. I mean, was it that Darth Vader said to
Figured
Luke
it was the
again?
best time.
Join me, and I will complete your training.
Probably-
With our combined strength, we can end.
Everyone's trying to underwear shame me right now. I think that's very.
order to the galaxy.
Nothing about power or control. He talks about ending the
Okay, we
conflict
gotta-
and bringing order to the
little bit,
galaxy.
alright.
Luke and the other rebels might have fancied the idea of creating a better, more utopian vision where the Imperial government didn't have to rely on military might to maintain the order, but as we see in the sequels, doesn't work out at all.
Why?
The movie clearly struggles with the structure and order
I had
necessary to
10K and
maintain
no
such a
game in
huge
mind.
body of governance. Not only did they
No
fail in
worries.
the short-term 5 years
It's
later
okay.
future that we see in The Mandalorian, but they also fail on a much bigger scale. The sequel trilogy shows us what happened under the New Republic. Somehow, under their noses, the First Order, which I should remind you is different from the structure and manning of the Empire and actually a far more evil organization, they managed to amass enough power to create a Starkiller base that just
That's
completely
true. They've
obliterates the
like
capital
stolen
city of the New
children to
Republic.
fight in an
Sorry, did I say
army.
the capital city?
Like at
The
least
capital
the Empire
planets,
was
as
like
well as
hiring people,
4
right? It's
other-
like, hey,
I
we'll
mean,
pay you a
how
livable
badly do
wage
you have to fail in
to,
defense and national security
you know,
in order for that one to happen.
overthrow
And that is just
world
the Force
governments.
Awakens. By the time we
Or
get to
the
The Last Jedi, somehow the
Empire
Republic,
did
which
nothing
again
wrong.
was
They
supposed
did
to
win
be
fair
a
and square.
galaxy-spanning union
Not their
of
fault that the
planets,
Jedi
has
were stupid
utterly
and
folded under the
full of
pressure
themselves.
from a ragtag group of resistance members who are fleeing the First Order. Again, think about how crazy that
No, I said it's not the Empire's
Supposedly,
fault.
One of the planets that the rebels liberated from the Empire rule in Episode 6 was Coruscant, which has
Luke
a
Skywalker is a
population of
terrorist.
1
We don't
trillion
apologize for
sentient creatures,
terrorists.
at least half of which
There's
are
no
human.
excuse.
And now, just a couple decades later, somehow the last
Okay,
vestiges of the
okay.
Republic stand at several hundred people strong. That is over
There's like this little piece that needs to go in
99.99999%
here.
of them killed off or
Little thing
abandoned
right
the cause.
here.
I'm sorry, Leia,
I
but
can't
you
squeeze it
botched
in.
But don't worry, I hear your comments already. The Empire and the First Order may be different, but the Empire did also blow up Alderaan, and yeah, we
Facts,
can't
they did
forget
a
about
terrorism.
that.
Okay, it's just reverse
But in
terrorism.
all honesty, we just can't trust Princess Leia's claims in this moment. Just look at literally everything she has said up to this point in the movie. She starts by telling Vader that they're on a mission of
I
peace.
don't know what you're talking about. I'm a member of the Imperial Senate on a diplomatic mission to Alderaan.
That is such a lie, Leia. We just saw your ship getting the plans, smiling with your digitally recreated face made by computer technology. Vader literally just experienced the events of Rogue One.
I did
watching
it!
the
I
rebels
did it, and I
fly
didn't
away
break
with
it.
the
I
Death
didn't
Star
break it.
plans. Why would anyone from the Empire
All right,
possibly
we
believe
got
you
the
in this moment?
bandolier
But even still,
on.
even if there were
Let's
weapons on
fucking
Alderaan, it's
go.
not likely that everyone there was working for the rebellion,
Right.
so there's definitely plenty of innocent lives lost in that attack. I'm not saying that the Empire were the good guys by any means. I'm just
And
saying they were
D7.
more
Okay, so we're gonna
effective
take
at
out
ruling
10
a
and 7
galaxy.
and F.
However, if you hold that action against the Empire, shouldn't you also be holding it against the Republic? Because let's get real here, they also do their fair share of murder, and also at a near planetary scale. I'll let the movie Clerks explain
The
this.
first Death Star was manned by the Imperial Army, so when they blew it up, no problem, evil's punished. Second time around, it wasn't even done being built yet. I bet
This-
they brought independent
Interesting.
contractors in on that thing.
Oh, we're
Plumbers,
watching an
aluminum
interesting
siders,
trade.
roofers, all those innocent contractors
Uh-huh.
brought in to do the job were killed. Casualties of
It
a
is a
war they had
prison.
nothing to do with.
The hard truth is this, there is
Hold on, I
blood
didn't-
on everyone's hands. And don't for a second think that the Republic...
Cameron
Casualties
came
of
in
war they
talking
had
about
nothing to do with.
spices.
The hard truth is this, their fair share of murder, and also at a near planetary scale. I'll let the movie Clerks explain this.
The first Death Star was manned by the Imperial Army, so when they blew it up, no problem, evil's punished. Second time around, it wasn't even done being built yet. I bet they brought independent contractors in on that thing.
Oh, yeah.
Roofers,
I forgot about
those innocent contractors brought in to do the job were killed. Casualties of a war they had nothing to do with.
The hard truth is this: there is
We're
blood
putting the
on
visor in.
everyone's hands.
What
And
did they
don't for a
give you,
second
Cam?
think that the Republic wasn't above those sorts of actions either. In Return of the Jedi, Luke manipulates the indigenous Ewoks of Endor, convincing them that
Think you
C-3PO
like
was
Italian
a golden
seasoning.
god
Get over
who
it.
would smite them if they failed to assist the
There we go.
rebels in
Got a
their war
visor. We got a
efforts.
helmet.
Tell them if they don't do as you wish, you'll become angry and use your magic.
Let's see. Pushing the indigenous people into your own military
Perfect.
conflict, making them
Bam.
believe that God
Now-
is commanding them to do so.
Now-
I know Vader and his friends are called the Empire, but if someone here is guilty of cultural imperialism, it's not the guys who are wearing stormtrooper outfits. And I mean that
Oopsie,
quite
not
literally,
cultural
too. The relationship
imperialism.
that Luke has with the Ewoks stands in stark contrast to the way that the Empire treated them.
Wait,
Before
oh,
the rebels
fuck,
showed
fuck.
up, the Empire stormtroopers mostly ignored the Ewoks. They weren't destroying huge portions of the forest to create their shield generator. The design almost
There we go.
feels like it was created to
We have-
minimize the
Yo!
environmental impact. The Empire wasn't
Thank you
trying
so
to
much,
protect
Keith. Thank you very much. Oh my God.
Empire wasn't
10
really
months.
all that bad if you
It's a
were
pretty long
regular
time,
galactic
Keith. I seriously
citizen or a
appreciate it.
regular Ewok. It wasn't
Thank you
until
for using
Luke
your
showed up
Prime.
and brought the Ewoks into his war.
We're building
that the
Mandalorian
story
today,
began.
and we
Look,
are
let me
reacting to
reiterate
some
this.
fun Star
I'm
Wars
not saying
content.
the Empire was perfect.
Oh, I'm
In
welcome
fact,
very
it's
much.
pretty far from perfect. The
So
Emperor
this is what
was
we got so
basically
far.
a dictator. The
This is
Empire
our
is
Mando.
autocratic.
Pretty-
I can
pretty
totally
sweet,
see why
pretty
Luke would be
sweet.
attracted to the
10
idea
month
of joining a
welcome.
rebellion to fight it.
Great.
But if you compare
Oh,
the
nobody's gonna
Empire to
tell me
what
the
came
glasses
before
is
during
over?
the prequels and what came
Come
after
on,
the
y'all.
sequel trilogy, it
Come
starts
on,
to look
y'all.
like the best
That's
of
just
the three
mean.
systems to live under. The movies give us a skewed perception of what
Okay.
the Empire is.
We're
From
done with
the rebels'
these.
perspective,
Now I need-
of course the Empire is going to seem evil, because if you're in the rebellion, the Empire is trying to kill all of your friends. However, the Empire is attacking the rebels
Damn.
only because the
Here we go.
rebels are trying to destroy the
All right.
Empire. For your
Hey,
average galactic
13.
citizen, life under the Empire
Oh, we're
was
giving him a
about as
diaper.
good as you could get. Or as Werner Herzog's
When is your
character puts
1 year
it in The
anniversary of
Mandalorian,
streaming? 1 year anniversary.
and even though our main
The
guy
timer
Mando
was in
might
the
take
top
issue with
right.
Empire
It should have been
apologists
visible
like
for a
the
little
client,
bit. Let me
deep in his
double
heart,
check.
He knows that life isn't actually better under the New Republic. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory. And cut.
Hades, are you You can do a QA. Yeah, you can. We can do a QA. Absolutely. But my 1 year anniversary is like November 21st, so it already happened. I didn't really do anything for that. I was going to do the bathtub stream that day, but it requires a lot of setup. I'm still trying to get everything ready. After this, I'm going to be building a PC building. We're going to be re-putting in a hard what are we putting in, Cam? Putting in like hard drive. And then I'm going to have that set up. So that way I have a dedicated streaming PC just out in the living room for kitchen stuff. And I can use that one for the bathtub stream, so I don't have to like worry about this stuff in there. But my 1 year of affiliate is like January 3rd or something like that. It's something weird. How long have you been rocking for? I've been rocking since the Xbox 360 when Viva Pinata came out. I think that's like 2008, right? That's when I made my gamer tag. I remember because I got an Xbox 360 with Viva Pinata. So it's whatever year that game came out. A lot of people started rocking the Xbox. Yeah, true. What did I get for Christmas? I got a lot of things. I got the camera that you're looking at this on. This camera I got for Christmas. The stand that it's on I got for Christmas. I got, hold on.
Hi, chat.
Ugg slippers for Christmas. These were from Cameron. This Lugia for Christmas. Lego Lugia.
Fuck off.
You can't see them, but up there on that shelf at the very top is some plushies that I got for Christmas. I got Yeti tumblers. I bought myself this. Yeah. I got candy. Good Christmas. How are you? I'm meh. The year is officially done. My job, my training requirements are officially done as of Saturday, and I don't go into the office until Monday, so I officially don't care until Monday. Great. Cam got you a cam. Cam did give me a cam. This cam is not only just a regular cam, it's special. If you've been here for one of the recent streams this week, I've been testing it out. It's an AI auto zoom, auto tracking camera. So for kitchen streams, VR streams and stuff, it can track me around the room. So I don't have to worry about being in frame or being out of frame or whatever. And it can zoom via gesture, so it's really how was your reunion with Cam after being apart so long? It was emotional to say the least. And by that I mean I took a nap with him. He abandoned me during that nap, then left to go to the gym. So he immediately abandoned me again after coming back from abandoning me. So, you know, just the life you live. What Bleacher song would describe that motion? Probably I'm really thinking about that. I would say Foreign Girls. I think Foreign Girls my go-to. I'm so confused with what I'm supposed to be doing here. Is it over? I'm gonna say it's over because I don't remember when it started. And the thing is gone. Miss any? Incorrect answer. The answer is, how dare you want more? Ooh, that's a good one too. That is a really good one. For those of you who don't know, I'm a Bleacher stan. Hence my mouse pad. It says Bleachers in the corner up there. You can't see. Can't miss those. Yeah, true. But yeah, it was weird being for myself for so long. All right, just tighten these parts as far as they'll go. All right, we did it. We got little leg joints. Now I think we just close his diaper. I think. Okay, we need PC12. The timer only shows for a few seconds. Let's no, supposed to stay up. Let me see. We're gonna run it down for a whole 5 minutes. What happened? Any other question? Otherwise, we're gonna go back to React content for a bit. But you can always AMA. The AMA is always on there. The tag is always available. I will answer anything that doesn't dox. All right, now we finish the diaper. Okay, where's the other piece of the diaper? A14. All right, it's counting down. It's still going. That's good. Okay. But yeah, we had a good Christmas. Cam, I got Cameron a Dyson Supersonic hair dryer. Yeah, this lo-fi is good for Star Wars. I used to play it when I was playing. I think I did it for the intro when I played Knights of the Old Republic. It's very good. It's a very good playlist. Yeah, he does have an overly expensive hairdryer. It's weirdly expensive. Like, doesn't make sense. It's a hairdryer. But he likes it, so I guess that's... All right, we got a diaper. There's the front of his diaper. There's the Mandalorian's booty. But yeah, I got him that. I got him... What else did I get you, Kim? I got him new Birkenstocks because he blew out his old pair. It was crazy. I also bought myself Birkenstocks, but... Oh, now we're working on specifically the right leg. So, we have a Mando in a diaper with no arms or legs. I never messed your shoes up. Your shoes got messed up by you. All you. All you. Your dainty little shoes. Okay, he has to have extra wide because his feet are big. I don't want to hear dainty. So we need 15. Oh, we have a video submission. Hold on. Ooh, let's watch this. Okay, let's definitely watch this. The back of mine. This is Star Wars Why is Half the Galaxy Unexplored? But this is Star Wars Legends, it says specifically, not current canon. No, the back of yours got blown out by you stepping on them. I don't want to hear it, Cam. Can't blame me.
Hey guys, this is Eckhart Slaughter. Hello and welcome to another Star Wars video. And before we begin, I want to thank everyone who went over and subscribed to my second channel, X2, yesterday. We got like 7.
Oh yeah, I did get new socks.
Pretty cool.
Smart wool socks. They're pretty nice.
And we will be streaming.
What did you guys get for Christmas? Anything cool?
Check that out. I'll put a link in the upper right-hand corner. And
anything
also
fun?
Down in the description. But it's been a while since we've done a mapping video, and I find the layout of the Star Wars galaxy to be really fascinating. And just generally, I like in fantasy and science fiction where there is the unknown, whether it's a far-off ocean or land, or in the case of the Star Wars galaxy, wild space, the unknown region, and what lies beyond.
Really easy to shop for because I have a new hobby. Oh, Keith, you're just like Cam then. You want to see our hobby closet where there's 2 sewing machines, knitting material, Magic the Gathering, D&D tiles, a 3D printer. Most recent hobby is golf. I can't swing a golf club to save my life. My back hurts anyway, so I wouldn't be able to do it regardless. But I've never been able to open my hips up and like swing my hips the right way. Like even to play baseball, it's been hard for me. I'm so challenged.
You could skip this one, you might see a bit of repetition, but I also do like the idea
yeah,
of
he is building
to
keyboards
and
now.
Covering again prior content, especially as my audio setup and my presentation continues to improve. So the information for today's video will relate to Star Wars Legends.
Turns out you're really good at golf. Nice. The 3D printer, it's in there. It hasn't been used in a while. The last thing he... Okay, you want to know a fun fact? The last thing we 3D printed... was these. Because my other computer, which we're now going to put in the kitchen, well, in the dining room area for the kitchen streams, I lost the stand for them. So I found online somebody had made their own with a 3D printer and had the file online. So Cameron made me some new stands to hold up my computer upright. Cameron, explain to him a 3D printer. It is no, you need to explain it in chat. I mean, you can do it on mic. That's fine. You just have to come here and.
Known regions and wild space.
Probably
and I
not.
wouldn't be surprised if we learned a lot
Threw
about
away
the sort
that
of
one
ancient
spool of
history
filament.
of the galaxy, including early exploration attempts in the new High Republic comics and books.
All right, so
and whatever
A.
else. So I think a good
Put this
understanding of the
here.
galaxy generally might be helpful
Oh,
to
it's over.
discuss this topic, and we'll work from the
Learn me
center
something,
of the
Cam.
galaxy and move outwards. At the very
All right, so we do
center
that.
is the deep core.
Then we get
The deep core has
A2.
lots of really dense objects like stars. It's very difficult to navigate.
Oh, are they talking? Okay, hold on. Is anybody in chat like a Star Wars fan like of other material? Is anybody is anybody else reading the High Republic stuff? Because the High Republic stuff is I've only halfway through the first book because I read slow and I have bad priorities. But it's been really, really cool. Okay, it's really, really cool. And explains a lot about hyperspace routes, which is so weirdly interesting. So if you're into that kind of thing, I highly recommend the new High Republic stuff.
And it generally wasn't a very nice place to be. Because of the constant movement in the area, hyperspace maps needed to be constantly updated, so we saw, for example, Imperial Remnant factions hiding in the deep core after the Battle of Endor and the fracturing of the Empire. The core, however,
Bam.
is a much more
We got a
pleasant
thigh.
place. It's the most civilized
now,
part of the galaxy. It houses the
we got a
birthplace
thigh
of many
with
common species, including humans, and just generally most of the galaxy's major
with the little
banking
Mando
and
crest.
social and cultural infrastructure is headquartered in the core. The further you move away from the core, at least from a core-centric position, the less civilized and less explored things
The Outer
generally
Rim.
become. We have the colonies, which, despite their modern name, were explored tens of thousands of years ago, when compared to the Battle of Yavin. Then we have the Inner Rim, and the Essential Atlas really describes a very distinct cultural divide.
All right, we need
within the
A20.
galaxy, with the
We
general
need
core extending out
A19.
into the Inner Rim, and then the rim itself being comprised of the expansion region, the mid rim, the outer rim, then of course the unknown regions,
The unknown.
space, and beyond. So as I
Star
said,
Wars
there's
is
this
so-
cultural divide, but the further you get away from the center of the galaxy, the also less explored things are. The Essential Atlas also points out that the Outer Rim territories are the largest region of the galaxy, but also the least explored. And I will add my own asterisk to that. I would say technically the unknown regions is larger, but we'll get
Need
to
17.
that later on in the video. So the core-centric nature of the galactic governments that have existed throughout most of Star Wars is the first real explanation for why so little of the galaxy has been explored.
This is so
On one hand, there's the easy to understand idea
you
that
see
the
so little of the
dominant
galaxy in the
aliens
actual
and
movies.
species in the Star
Like
Wars
so little of
galaxy
it.
originated in the core and have been there for the longest. That part of space has seen the most discovery, despite its relatively limited size. However, wider exploration was very difficult and usually limited to near major hyperspace lanes. There's a map in the Essential Atlas which shows this, and basically,
Bam,
most
bam.
exploration expeditions were
We need
based off of the
A20.
proximity to major hyperspace lanes, especially the Perlemian trade route and the Corellian Run. The space between the Perlemian and the Corellian Run was known as the Slice, with the tip of the Slice core world being planets like Coruscant.
I'm telling you.
So this area was a hotbed of exploration.
High
Much of the
Republic is so
galaxy's commerce took place within the Slice, but if you look on the map, it's actually a rather limited part of the galaxy, and in older Star Wars
There we go.
expanded
All right, we got a
universe sections was
shin.
even smaller.
We got a
we have lots of
thigh.
hyperspace routes, which makes exploration
We got a shin.
and travel and commerce easier. We have connections to major core
And
planets,
now we are
and
going
the
to
fact
make
that the Slice, despite
an
being a small
ankle,
portion
or
of the
we're making a
galaxy, is
knee
still
first,
tens of
a
thousands
knee.
of light years in area. So there's more than enough space to explore here, and as such, the galaxy dedicated a lot of time to the Slice to probably the neglect of other areas. But the circumstances of
Let's
the
see,
Slice and the Perlemian and the
C35.
Corellian Run can actually be used as
Oh,
an
here it is.
analogy for the Star Wars galaxy at large. Basically, if you're not near a super stable, well-traveled hyperspace lane, then your planet is probably not going to get that much attention.
Nope.
And just to be clear, I'll explain this to you guys. There are hyperspace lanes going across the galaxy. They're not man or alien made. They're sort of natural phenomenon, probably due to the presence of major stellar bodies or whatever else.
So from what I remember is, and I can't remember if this is High Republic or if this is Rebels or where I got this from. I think it's High Republic, but when you enter hyperspace, you're entering a different like dimension or something. Like it's a different space than the real world. And then you exit that space. It's kind of like, I think of hyperspace as like the Nether in Minecraft, where you can fast travel the overworld by traveling between portals in the Nether, because the Nether is smaller than the overworld, so you travel more distance in the overworld if you enter and exit at a different place. It's very interesting.
And some of these are
I could be
really
wrong, but I'm
big
pretty
and
sure that's
really
what I remember
important,
them saying,
like the
was that it's like
hiding
you're
way,
entering a
which
different
stretches
space, and then you're
across the
exit when you
galaxy, and
you spend
can
less time in
travel
that
very
space, and when you
fast on
exit
these
you're
hyperlanes
further in the
without very much
field.
difficulty. Sometimes these big ones are also called hyperroutes, but off these there are also the smaller hyperspace lanes, which aren't always or even frequently represented on maps, and these are just discovered by people exploring. One thing you'll notice if you look at this map is that all of the major hyperspace lanes in the galaxy, these sort
we
of
need
super
35
hyperroutes, are on what we would call the galactic eastern side.
Thank you
That's
for
also
explaining
reflected
that,
by
Cam.
this map, which looks at galactic population, and yeah, the major
gonna take
population centers
these.
are very, very close to
Make
major
a knee
hyperspace
joint.
lanes, which is sort of why
Close it
population
up.
of the galaxy is much like you'd expect with, say, ancient
A
cities being very
10,
close to water sources like rivers. So the fact that only one
10,
side of the galaxy has these established hyperroutes has really limited exploration.
I
on the
printed
other
lots
side.
of
Let me
D&D
just
terrain.
look
Yeah,
at
he
this
has a
map here.
lot of
Why is
D&D
this the
stuff
case?
that he has
Well, it's
printed
not
on that
because
3D
there
printer.
aren't these
The 3D
hyperroutes
printer
on
is
the other
really,
side
really
of the
cool.
galaxy. They very well might exist, but they haven't been found yet. And to understand that, we have to go back to what I said about the deep core. It's almost impossible to travel straight through the deep core, and traveling generally through the area is very, very difficult. So with some of the very major early planets being
Okay, cool. We got it all.
Duro, who was known for their explorers,
Here we
and
go.
Corellia,
So,
it
knee.
makes sense that exploration would be largely
Then we
eastward,
put
especially given that that's how the Prolemian and the Corellian, which both terminate at Coruscant,
this
run. There's a paragraph which
on
speaks to this in the
here.
Essential Atlas, and it says colonization of
Then
the core created a
we put
semicircular
this
ring that extended
here.
down to Abrogado Ray in the southern quadrant. This
And
arc is still
here.
considered the cream of the core, with its worlds displaying a positive digit in their coordinate that indicates a location east
And
of
then
Coruscant. There was
this-
a second western expansion later on, but not to the same degree as the first eastern one, and thus the true core is often considered to be, as I said, east of Coruscant. So yeah, when you look at a map, the galaxy is actually more than you would think, almost completely split between fairly well colonized, but less so depending on how close you are to the outer rim, and on the western side, pretty much still in no man's
Bam!
land. So that's
We
half
got
the
a
galaxy
leg.
right there.
We
To
got a
justify my
leg.
title, I think there's
And it
more we
bends.
can talk about. One, there's lots of planets, even in the inner rim and beyond, which just haven't been explored. But even more than that, there's the whole issue of the unknown.
And now we need to
regions
build an
and
ankle
wild
and a
space. So the
hip
unknown regions
flex,
is
like
basically
little
the name
place where the
for
leg
any
flexes
area
on the
that
hip.
hasn't really been
All right, so we need
explored or
A
mapped. So that does include most of that
and
western
C.
space that I was talking about earlier, but it also includes the areas beyond the outer rim, off the map as you'd say, but still technically within the galaxy itself. Wild space similarly is sort of a frontier area between
where C went.
explored and colonized space and the beyond. As the name suggests,
That's
it's sort
B.
of the
Here's C.
lawless
Okay, we have it all.
frontier.
Cool,
The
cool,
unknown
cool.
region had smaller, what's called stellar halos and globular clusters.
So
which
we need
are like collections
A,
of stars which are
29.
within the galaxy or just orbiting outside of it. Some calculations put almost 75% of the galaxy in the unknown regions, so well over half. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that there were as many stars on that side or
Doesn't
as many
say.
habitable planets. So that's the basics, but
I
there
think we
is
just need
one
one.
last thing I wanted to bring up. Perhaps there's a reason why part of the galaxy
Bam.
has been segmented from the
A28.
rest. According to the Atlas, passage was actually made difficult by a hyperspace anomaly, perhaps connected to the one that also surrounds the galaxy.
Oh, it's the
Only
father, the son, and the daughter. Those are the Force spirits from Rebels.
did it become clear that westward
Or no,
passage
from Clone Wars. Oh my god, I'm an idiot.
was in fact barred. A tangle of hyperspace anomalies west of the deep core essentially stitched the galaxy in half. Theorists could not pin the singularity's existence on any real space phenomena, but most agreed that the tangled braid formed the midline of the galactic barrier that enveloped the galaxy in a shell of hyperspace turbulence. Hypotheses regarding its creation have speculated on natural origins, hyperspatial gravitic ripples, and the remnants
Weird.
of ancient conflicts. reported barricade.
I
between the
think everybody
Celestials
needs to
and Goldstar
go
Rakata.
read.
Despite its
Dude, that's what I should do. I need to do a book club so I can hold myself accountable. I need people to read the High Republic with me. The third one comes out in January. That ends the first part.
The western side of the galaxy. Although you can
I need to catch up
it,
ASAP. I'm 2 books behind.
There are some ways
well, 1.5.
So what's being hidden there? Is it a natural phenomenon blocking passage? Is it
all right, here we go. Let's put a foot together. All right, we have
down in the comments. But that's all I have for now. Guys. Have a good one. As always,
all right, any other videos? Let's check for something
the
else.
Be with you.
Here's a fun fact. At the 2007
Oop, there we go. Okay. Bum 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 ba-dum ba-dum. Oh, let's watch The Great Purge.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Be relevant.
Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day so far today. So,
all right, so we
today's
take
video is gonna be
the
something
little
very
ankle
important
joint.
regarding the Mandalorian.
We put
Beskar.
this
now,
on
a
it.
lot of you don't know what it is, so I'm gonna explain it, and it's gonna be
Tap it
very
with
easy to
pull.
understand. So, what is it? Well, let's understand the history first. Since the planet Mandalore was conquered some 11,000 years before the Battle of Yavin,
Now we have an
by the
ankle.
gray-skinned simian species, the Tong, who were the forebears of the Mandalorian culture, the discovery of their world's unique indestructible ore, known as Beskar, fundamentally changed their society, contributing to their expansion within their own star sector and their standing with the rest of the galaxy. For Beskar was one of the toughest metals known to science.
Yep,
treasured
Beskar's
for its
pretty dope.
incredible strength and durability. The iron was so rare that the only known source for it was Mandalore itself and its orbiting moon, Concordia. Because of how resistant
What did I do
Beskar
wrong?
was to damage, it could even
Oh,
withstand
nothing.
blows
I did
from
it!
lightsaber.
I have a
The
foot with an
Mandalorian iron
ankle!
was prized far more than Durasteel or
All right, now I need
Cortosis by the galaxy
39,
at
40, and
large. The Mandalorians eventually weren't tied to any individual species like the Tong, but
Yep.
became composed of a diverse makeup of different alien beings, united by their warriors' culture. The Mandalorian metalsmiths, who guarded their secret techniques with their very lives, amplified the natural strength of the iron during the forging process. Without sacrificing any of the Beskar ore's distinctive toughness, the metalsmiths were able to significantly reduce its heaviness by adding carbon molecules in their foundries.
Whoa, they're doing
which
chemistry?
created a molecular cage structure that allowed the Mandalorian metal to become much lighter.
I
than
don't
it
have
actually
the
was, but also
Smith
in
Black
comparison to
Series.
any of the other
I'm a little
contemporary
disappointed by that.
metals
I
out
want
there.
it so
So
badly.
Beskar iron was not just one of the most unbreakable metals, but also one of the lightest in the galaxy. The Mandalorians had also realized that if they repeated folding Beskar, during the forging procedure that is, the iron would further enhance its already considerable strength.
Oh, that's what you
But
do in
Beskar
baking
wasn't the
too,
only
except
metal
for
they
it gets you
used. The
like
metalsmiths would mix in other metals to create alloys that are capable of being shaped into numerous types of shapes. These alloys resulted in the varied colors of the finished Beskar during the smelting process.
All right,
Soon
we want to
enough,
put
the
this is
reputation
for
of
the
the
hip joint.
Mandalorian iron caused
That
many
facing
armies throughout
there.
the galaxy to journey to obtain as much of
And we
the
close
supplies
it.
as they could.
Now we have a
and
hip
thus,
joint.
its
Now we can
galactic
connect the
market
leg
value
to the body.
skyrocketed. So, some sought
All
to
right,
try
so
and
hip
bribe
joint
the
goes up
Mandalorian
top.
metalsmiths for their secrets, but those ventures always led nowhere. The metalsmiths
Bam.
only passed their knowledge down through the
Down
generations
here.
to their own kin. Any enterprise that tried to replicate
that.
finished Beskar without the Mandalorian's secret knowledge always met with failure. Beskar could be rendered
got a
in
leg
various ways,
with
not
a
just for
foot that
weapons and armor
moves.
plating, depending
bends
on the composition
and
of the alloy. The iron could be utilized in such things as wire, micronized
It
particles,
connects.
foam, or even transparent film. In the course of time, the
We have a
Beskar
one-legged
became the
Mandalorian.
Mandalorian's main
How
economic
glorious.
export, and they began to transform their moon, Concordia, into a mining base. The surface was completely scarred
All right.
by mines,
I
and the satellite
think-
forests were nearly all destroyed by the various mining operations. But that didn't slow them down. As
Yep,
they
now we
fitted their
just moved to
weapons,
the
armor,
exact
and
opposite. We're doing
starships
left
with
leg now.
Beskar, sometimes the iron was used in more unorthodox ways, such as when Jedi Master Arca Jeth purchased.
All right, so
a
everything we just
Lilith
did,
to
but
seal in the tomb of the ancient
in reverse
Sith
this
Lord,
time.
Frida Nad on Dune. To the astonishment of the Dark Jedi and the future Sith Lord Exar Kun, who later attempted to access the tomb, it
All right,
took him
A3, which I
repeated
already
strikes with his
I already
lightsaber
got.
at its highest power
A4.
setting to finally break through. And if you guys didn't know, lightsabers actually have a length setting and a power
They
setting.
do.
The
It's really
Mandalorians
cool, and you see it
themselves
in
viewed
Rebels, and I
Beskar as
want
the
them to
perfect
show that
material to craft
live
their
action.
infamous armor with, recognizing the benefits it provided them in engagements against opponents with blasters and lightsabers. However, following a prominent event in the Warriors clan history, called the Mandalorian Excision, which saw the rise of a new peaceful pacifist sect on Mandalorian society.
Ooh.
The ore was used in the architectural makeup of many of their capital city on Sundari's majestic buildings and towers, as well as in the flatware used by passengers for dining. In the new Mandalorian's leader,
What?
Satine's personal yacht. Though pacifists, the new Mandalorians were still pragmatists, so the nearly indestructible iron was also utilized in the construction of the capital's prison.
Yes!
Their police
Oh, are they
going to
talk about the cage?
Beskar forged Mandalorian manacles, as well as blast-proof Beskar shields. The mining operations on Concordia had ceased by this point.
All right,
At
we
least
put that on there,
officially. They
this
were,
on
however,
here. We're
still
making a
in operation
second
on
thigh.
Mandalore itself, where the Beskar was being mined underground. However, some of the pacifists
And
would
now-
instead break down the traditional Mandalorian armor to repurpose the iron towards
Bam.
more
Second
non-aggressive
thigh.
usages. There was a Mandalorian splinter group called Death Watch,
Death
led by
Watch.
a warrior named Tor Vizsla, that did not share in the ideals.
If you haven't
of the
watched
pacifist
Clone Wars or
Mandalorians,
Rebels, please
and
do so.
believed
It's
in a more
so
violent
full of
and
Mandalorian.
radical
Well, not full of,
ideology
but has a
that was
lot of
closer
cool
in sync
Mandalorian
with their ancestors'
tie-ins.
mercenary
Love it.
past. So he ran an unofficial and illegal mining operation on Concordia to make tools of war with the Beskar. When the Galactic Republic had
All right, we need
collapsed
21 and
had been
20.
replaced by Emperor Palpatine's empire,
Two.
the Imperials negotiated a deal with the Mandalorian chieftains of 800 million credits to acquire mining rights for Beskar and to establish a garrison on their home world. Companies were set up that refurbished old prison ships or constructed new ones with Beskar enhancements. Soon enough, more requests came in
Yes.
for manacles, holding cages, and security doors. Though initially this arrangement had been mutually beneficial for both Mandalore and the Empire, relations between them soon
17.
started to strain to the breaking point, and the Empire conquered the Mandalorians' home. Following standard Imperial procedure, they enslaved the populace, strip-mined the planet of Beskar, and shipped a good deal of it off-world. Around this time,
Yep.
a dark side acolyte and apprentice of Darth Vader's, the Dark Lady of the Sith, Lumia, used some of the Mandalorian
Oh, interesting.
iron
They're
in
going
the
into
construction of her light whip. Though the
Legend
Empire took a
material.
great deal of the Mandalorian armor, they had only mined the planet's shallow veins, while much later, when the Empire was no more, and after a devastating attack by the
C-3132.
extragalactic species, the Yuuzhan Vong, a new great source of the Beskar ore was discovered in much deeper grounds. This is what I believe will become the new canon, or at least a form of it will become the new canon for what is talked about in the show as the Great Purge. I believe the Empire did this exact same thing in the canon that they did in Legends, where they went into
This
Mandalore
made
and
before season
basically
2.
just purged it, and they took all of the Beskar. This new discovery led to Mandalore once again rising to economic prosperity under their new leader,
I don't know.
the reigning Mandalore Boba Fett.
Yeah.
A new set of Beskar armor was forged for him to replace his old Durasteel plates. During this period, Jaina Solo, the daughter of Leia and Han, was training with the Mandalorians to learn new fighting techniques to aid her in fighting her brother, who had fallen to the dark side and become Darth Caedus. Which
Yeah, they're doing Legends shit.
in its
Okay.
entirety, like his whole history. It's like a 20-minute video, so I hope you guys will enjoy it. He is who Kylo Ren is supposed to actually be, or is based off of slightly. Jaina was furnished with Beskar armor plates.
Don't just
that
say
she
that.
used
That's
during
rude.
her final confrontation with her twin. Though the iron.
All
was
right,
pretty
now
much
let's make a leg.
obvious, Jedi Grandmaster Luke Skywalker had taught his niece how to perceive the faint flaws left in Beskar. As
Oh, should
early
I do
as the
stickers
Forge's
right now?
days, and how to exploit those tiny
I don't know that I have steady
imperfections
enough
with the
hands.
Force to completely shatter the armor. This kind of reminds me of Mace Windu's iconic Force ability called Shatterpoint. where
I
he
don't
would
know. I
see
think we'll do
the
that later.
world in different
Let's
panes
just get
of
the
glass,
body
and see the
built.
weak points of different objects, enemies,
A
whatever it is. So essentially, Beskar
15.
ore is Star Wars' equivalent to Wakanda's vibranium, an incredible, useful, and powerful metal that I can't help but wonder.
I just want them to show
how
the
such a
Force
resource might have changed the relationship
proof
between
box
Palpatine
they
and
made.
Darth Vader if the Sith apprentice's armor had been entirely composed of that wondrous material instead of Durasteel. I mean, a lightsaber-proof Darth Vader. But of course, Palpatine never wanted this.
How
He gave
fucking
Vader
cool would
the
that be?
worst robotics and technology that he could because he wanted Vader to suffer for his defeat from Obi-Wan, and in losing Palpatine, the prodigal chosen one.
I mean, I agree with Palpatine.
Because as we all know,
Embarrassing.
He lost to Obi-Wan. He lost 3 of his limbs, including the one that he had already lost, so 4 limbs, which severed his connection to the Force entirely. And as George Lucas stated, he was only 80%
We got another leg.
maximum power
Let's
in
go.
comparison to Palpatine. Which, if he had never lost to Obi-Wan or never
All right,
lost
now we
his
just need
limbs,
another ankle,
he would
foot,
have been
and
far
hip
greater
joint.
in power compared to Palpatine. So, I hope you enjoyed today's video about Beskar's origins.
I
and
really wish you would have
history.
talked about the cage. The cage is really cool. Basically, at the end of Clone Wars, there's a cage that they made that can fucking contain force powers. Hella cool. Let's talk about the complete timeline. This is canon timeline, right? All right, no more Legends nonsense. Long time ago.
Some unknown thousands of years before the events of the Star Wars films, an energy field known as the Force comes into existence on a mysterious planet known as the Wellspring of Life. Three
P3738.
beings known as the Father, the Daughter, and the Son are all born as well. The Daughter embodies the light side of the Force, the Son embodies the dark, and the Father keeps their power in check in
This
the realm
is
of
canon.
Mortis. Sentient beings evolve and spread throughout the galaxy. The planet Batuu becomes a central hub at the crossroads of many sub-light-speed trade routes. However, the development of hyperspace technology allows for the further exploration and colonization of the galaxy, leaving the planet a relic of the past. A number of supernovas send huge planetary masses across a large area of the galaxy. The debris demolishes entire systems, sparks more supernovas, and in general puts an end to hyperspace charting and travel in what becomes known as the Unknown Regions. The literal or figurative Prime Jedi is born, and Force-sensitive creatures gather on the planet Ahch-To with the purpose of starting the Jedi Order. They
Aww.
construct a temple and a village on one of the islands there. The Old Republic is founded, and the Jedi dedicate themselves to the preservation of peace and justice among its citizens. They
All
spread their
before the
influence
Battle
to
of
more
Yavin.
worlds, including Ilum and
Ilum!
Jedha. Both planets become sacred to the Jedi as major sources of
Right.
kyber crystals
A,
used in the construction
29,
of their lightsabers.
28, 24,
An
12.
unidentified rogue Jedi splits from the Order, taking with him a number of followers, sparking the 100-year darkness and the creation of the Sith Order. A Sith temple is erected on Malachor, and at its heart is a superweapon powered by a massive kyber crystal. The Jedi attack the temple, and in the Great Scourge of Malachor, the superweapon is fired, petrifying nearly all participants in the battle. The survivors of the Sith Order retreat to a planet called Moraband, making it their new headquarters. Another splinter group of the Jedi, called the Ordu Espectu, begins researching the
Dr.
secrets
Afra
of
is a weirdly
immortality.
good
The
comic.
Jedi
I really
oppose their
enjoy.
quest, so the
Is it
Ordu
evil
desperately sends their
C-3PO?
fortress through hyperspace
A
to
translation
an unknown
droid?
location where it is lost. A disturbed artist named Momin is discovered to be Force-sensitive and trained by the Sith Lady Shah. He eventually kills her, creates a superweapon, and attacks the planet Mustafar. The Jedi thwart the
Love
attack and
Charles
take
Soule
Momin's helmet for
and his
safety.
run on Darth Vader.
Perhaps in that
Fantastic.
very same attack, Mustafar's
I have not
Force-sensitive
finished
ruler,
Vader
Lady
Immortal.
Corvax, loses her husband.
I need to.
She attempts to bring him back to life through the use of a relic known as the Bright Star. The
Maybe I'll
ritual
do that on
fails
stream. That'll
and
be a fun
throws
one
the
to stream,
planet
actually.
into unbalanced, lava-covered chaos. The Sith Empire spreads. The dark side users briefly control the galaxy and build a shrine on the planet Coruscant. 1,000 years later, Jedi and Republic forces successfully drive their Sith enemies away. Attempting to remove dark side energies from the
Alright,
planet,
we got
4
another
Jedi
ankle.
Masters build a new Jedi temple on top of the Sith shrine. In the midst of fighting with the Sith, the Jedi encounter a warrior people known as Mandalorians. Fearful of the Jedi's mystical powers and the Force, the Mandalorians develop new technology to combat them on equal ground, and the Mandalorian Wars begin. Despite their differences, the Jedi accept a Mandalorian named Tar Vizsla into their ranks. He creates a unique lightsaber called the
Darksaber. We're gonna make that today.
It's stored in the Jedi Temple. The final conflict of the Mandalorian Wars occurs on Mandalore, the heart of the Mandalorian Empire. Their homeworld is devastated and
Really
scorched
going in on
into a
Mandalore.
lifeless desert. The Sith Wars continue for thousands of years. Battles are fought on many planets, including Takodana, on the exact site where Maz Kanata will one day build her castle. The final
Bam!
confrontation is
He's
again
officially got
on
2
Coruscant.
legs.
The Mandalorians, possibly in league with the Sith, use the opportunity to infiltrate the Jedi Temple and reclaim Tar Vizsla's
Stand down.
Darksaber. The Sith are defeated, leaving Darth Bane as the sole survivor. Realizing that his peers'
Boom.
lust for power and infighting were a key element in their downfall, he takes on a single apprentice and
Now we
begins
just
the
need to
rule of
make
2.
the
Living
rest
in
of
secret, the Sith could grow more powerful not only in the Force, but politically as well, until they could orchestrate the downfall of the Jedi and the return of the Sith Empire.
Holy
As a
crap.
result of the Sith Wars, the Old Republic collapses and is reformed into the Galactic
Not the invention of the
Republic.
Rule of 2,
Believing
yeah.
the Sith to be extinct, the Jedi Order rebuilds. About 500 years later, the Citadel is constructed to imprison rogue Jedi in hopes of preventing any future uprisings like the 100-Year Darkness. But the Galactic Republic largely knows nothing but peace for 800 years after its creation. This era of tranquility becomes known as the High Republic. Now led by Chancellor Lina So,
Pretty
the
dope.
Republic seeks to expand its borders into the Outer Rim to bring prosperity to new systems from their space station, Starlight Beacon. A group of marauders called the Nihil caused the destruction of a Republic
Nihil are
transport
kind
in
of dope too,
hyperspace. The
from what I've
debris
read so
exits
far.
hyperspace across the galaxy at terrible speeds, threatening the lives of many Outer Rim citizens.
Really cool space
the Jedi
pirates.
and the Republic work together to save as many lives as they can. The debris is eventually contained, but the event comes to be known as the Great Disaster. The Nihil, led by Marchion Ro, use the Great Disaster to their advantage.
Dude is a
taking
fucking
hostages for ransom,
badass.
including a Jedi Master named Loden Greatstorm. They bomb another Republic transport, which strands Jedi Knight Vernestra Ro, her Padawan Imri, and a young girl named Avon Staros.
This really is
on a nearby
updated, holy
planet
shit.
Until they can be rescued. A group of Jedi Padawans even find themselves thrust into action, saving the residents of the planet Trimant 4. There they discover a young, Force-sensitive girl named Zine, who is taken in by the Jedi. Hyperlanes are closed for
Almost at
safety while the
10K. Oh
disaster is
god,
dealt
what are you
with.
going
A
for?
group of Jedi
What are you
and
going
civilians
for?
wind up stranded at an ancient and forgotten space station where they unwittingly release another threat to the galaxy.
I did read this
the
one.
Dringear.
Oh,
These
no, I
sentient
didn't.
Carnivorous plants
This is the
reawaken
second-
and begin to spread across the galaxy. As the Jedi investigate the Dringear,
I read
they come
this
into
one.
conflict with the Hutt clans, who are also using the chaos of the Great Disaster to take more.
You'll
systems
have
under their
unlimited
Ultimately,
power.
the Nihil and the Dringear
Yeah,
are
where you
dealt
can-
with, but the Republic
also
and
good
the Jedi
too.
are both changed and
All right, we got a
affected by the
gunslinger's
experiences.
little belt.
As the High
Nice,
Republic
nice,
era
nice.
comes to an end, a young Jedi named Dooku becomes the Padawan of Jedi Master Yoda. As he reaches knighthood, he becomes more
Bam.
and more frustrated with the Jedi
Pretty
and their
sweet.
strict adherence to doctrines, a trait that likely arose thanks to the dangers encountered during the High
A32.
Republic. During that entire time of general peace and then conflict with the Nihil, the Sith Order continues to remain hidden thanks to the Rule of Two. Darth
Yeah,
Plagueis and
Rule of
his apprentice
Two.
Darth Sidious are the latest Sith in Darth Bane's lineage. After learning everything he can from his master, Sidious
Alright, now we
kills
have the
Plagueis
back
in his
belt.
sleep. Darth Sidious is publicly known as Senator Sheev Palpatine of Naboo, and his ultimate
Whoa,
goal
what
is
a
to
reveal.
manufacture a galactic conflict that will throw the Republic into chaos and allow him to seize political power. He meets the Night Sister Mother Talzin and takes her son Maul as his new apprentice. Together they travel to the ruined Malachor,
A17
where
and
Maul
34.
witnesses the history of the Sith and is instilled with an intense hatred and desire for revenge against the Jedi. A Jedi Padawan named Mace Windu travels with his master, Sislin Mur, to the planet Mathas.
Oh,
where he arrests a
shit.
man taking advantage of the locals by masquerading as Jedi. Another young Padawan named Qui-Gon Jinn becomes the apprentice of Jedi Master Dooku.
I haven't read
Together,
Master and
they
Apprentice.
research
I
the
really want to,
prophecies
but
of
I'm a bad
ancient
reader.
Jedi mystics. Dooku's friend and fellow Jedi Master, Sifo Dyas, has visions of an upcoming conflict and attempts to warn the Galactic Republic. He is dismissed as a warmonger and removed from the Jedi Council.
Oh,
He takes
yikes.
matters into his own hands by commissioning the Kaminoans to create a clone army for the Republic, which
Yup.
catches the attention of Sidious.
Now we get the
template
Clone
for the
Wars.
clones is a bounty hunter named Jango
Duel
Fett.
Links or
As part of his
Deltarune?
payment, he requests a clone for himself to raise as a son
I'll
to
try
take on
either.
his legacy. He names his son Boba Fett. After Qui-Gon's promotion to Jedi Knight, his former master becomes disillusioned with the Jedi Order and peacefully steps down from his position, returning to his homeworld of Sereno. A slave named Shmi Skywalker
There we
gives
go,
birth to a fatherless
and
son she names Anakin, who is conceived purely by the
second to
will of
last
the
hip
cosmic
accessory.
force.
Now we just need the front of his
Qui-Gon
hip.
takes on an apprentice of his own named Obi-Wan
A35.
Kenobi. During a mission to the planet Pyjal, he receives a vision through the Force that convinces him the ancient Jedi prophecies are true. At the age of 3, Anakin and his mother become the property of the junk dealer Watto on the remote desert planet Tatooine. The Mandalorian.
How did you not know he was Dooku's Padawan? They literally talk about it in episode 1.
Attempts to shift their culture from that of conquerors into pacifists. The militant group known as Death Watch wants to
Get your
assassinate
shit
the
straight,
Duchess,
Cam.
so Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are tasked with her protection. They live on the run for a year, and Obi-Wan and Satine develop feelings for each other. But when the war comes to an end, the Duchess returns to Mandalore to lead her now pacifist
I've seen episode 1 so many
people, and
times. It was my
Obi-Wan
first ever
continues
Star
his
Wars
Jedi
movie
training.
in theaters.
Meanwhile, the
Holds a
Jedi
special place in my
Master
heart.
Yoda
I saw the
follows
re-release
call
in
of the
3D.
Force
Loved
to
it.
a
I still
war-torn
have the mall
planet
glasses.
called Dagadar. There he learns to control a unique aspect of the Force known as stone power and brings peace to the inhabitants.
Oh, I forgot about
A Jedi
stone
Master
power.
named Eno Cordova and his Padawan, Seer
So,
Judah, are
fun
sent to
fact,
the
real
planet
quick to
Onto.
interrupt. I have the entire run of the current canon Star Wars books. the main line. And it's really interesting because me and my buddies Slade and David, so we watch all of them. And fun fact, we're going to be doing a Life Day. We usually get together once a year and we celebrate Life Day where we watch the Star Wars special. And I have considered trying to watch it on stream, but I feel like Disney is like really mad about that, and they probably would hate me for it. But the Star Wars mainline canon series is weird because it goes from being like okay to being good to being god awful and stupid, and you get shit like stone power. It's so weird. And it's like Jason Aaron from the run, and then I think they switch. I think Kieran Gillen takes over. But it's very strange. I recommend it, but also just like no, you're gonna get weird shit. Yeah, it is a comic book. You're right. God, I thought it was just so silly.
Though to settle a dispute between the locals and an
I didn't realize Fallen Order had a comic.
There, Cordova first encounters a mysterious force-using species called the Zepho, sparking an obsession that he follows after Seer is
All
elevated
right,
to
with
the
all
rank
the
of
legs,
Jedi
now
Knight.
we move on to the
Maul
arms.
grows impatient of his master's plans in secrecy and seeks to test his power against a Jedi Padawan named Eldra Cadis.
Oh, hold on.
He kills her, much to his
More piece.
master's delight.
A7,
Sidious
A33.
begins the first phase of his master plan by engineering a blockade of his home planet. Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi are sent to end the dispute. They rescue the planet's ruler, Queen Padme Amidala, and are forced to retreat to Tatooine, where they meet Anakin Skywalker. Recognizing him to be the chosen one of Jedi prophecy,
There it is.
Qui-Gon arranges for Anakin's freedom and takes him back to Coruscant. The Galactic Republic's inability to solve the problems on Naboo reveals the ineffectiveness of the Senate and allows Palpatine to not only
Not the
vote the Supreme
ineffectiveness.
Chancellor out of office, but also take the position for himself. Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme
All right,
return to
now
Naboo
his
to
belt is
remove
done.
the blockade by
Going to the
force. Darth Maul confronts them and cuts down Qui-Gon before being dealt a mortal wound himself. Anakin is admitted to the Jedi Order as the Padawan of Obi-Wan. Despite the
Mortal
loss of
wound?
Maul
Meh.
and the end of the
It only
blockade,
makes him
Palpatine's
cooler.
goal is achieved, and he sets his eyes on Anakin as Maul's replacement. But in the meantime, he begins training Dooku. Together, they arrange for the death of Sifo Dyas and secretly take control of the clone army he commissioned. Anakin trains with Obi-Wan for 3 years, proving to be incredibly gifted in the Force. He falls
Yeah.
under the mentorship of the Supreme Chancellor,
Kind of like a
who
big deal or
encourages
whatever.
his thoughts that the Jedi Order are not what he expected. Anakin considers leaving the Order, but a mission with his master to
Yeah,
the war-torn
PC
planet Carnelian
10
IV
14.
convinces him to stay. After serving 2 full terms as the Queen of Naboo, Padme Amidala is appointed to represent her planet in the Senate. She and her loyal handmaidens, including her body double Sabe, begin making political allies with other like-minded senators. 10 years after the blockade of Naboo, Dooku leads a number of star systems in seceding from the Republic, beginning
right.
a conflict that was foreseen by Sifo Dyas. The Republic Senate is hesitant to create an army. Dooku orders the assassination of Padme, who is a staunch opponent to Republic
Kind of a
militarization.
weird thing to
The
just order.
assassination fails, Anakin is tasked with her protection, and the two fall in love. Anakin then has visions of his mother's kidnapping and death. He travels back to Tatooine to save her, but is too late. His mother
Aww.
dies in his arms,
What's
and
he do?
slaughters her captors in a
Oh,
raid.
that's sad.
Meanwhile, Obi-Wan investigates the would-be assassins
All
and
right,
discovers
D.
the clone army on Kamino. Fearing they have no other choice, the Senate grants
We
Chancellor
need
Palpatine
D4 and
emergency powers,
D3.
give the Jedi Order command of the clones, and the Clone Wars begin. Jango Fett is killed in the opening battle.
Oh wait, that's B.
Anakin secretly marries Padme, rises to the rank of Jedi Knight, and is assigned a Padawan named Ahsoka Tano. The Republic discovers plans to a new superweapon in the hands of their enemies. Palpatine manipulates a small group of scientists and engineers into creating the weapon for themselves, but the super laser proves to be a challenging breakthrough. A cyborg separatist
I'm
general
really
named
excited to
Grievous takes
see
control of droid forces and wreaks havoc across the galaxy. Trained
What's
by
the
Dooku
show
himself,
gonna be
he
called?
claims many Jedi lives
The one
during
that has
war.
Diego Luna in it.
Jedi Master Mace Windu leads a
Cameron,
small
what was
task
Diego
force of
Luna's
Jedi
character
to
called?
liberate the planet Hisric. One member of
Cassian.
the
Yeah,
team
Andor. That's the name of it.
mission is not to protect the
Andor.
people of the planet,
Oh,
but
I'm very
instead to
excited.
claim its resources. After securing Hisric, Dibbs claims that the Jedi Order should not play a role in such a large-scale conflict
All right.
and turns on
We
Mace.
finally have the
He is
shoulder
defeated and
piece.
found guilty of treason by the Jedi Council, who mercifully place him on probation. Dooku
Bam.
takes on an apprentice of his own,
Got his
a
little
Night Sister named
insignia on
Asajj
it.
Ventress. Sidious grows wary of Ventress's strength and demands that she be killed as a test of Dooku's loyalty.
Now we
She
just do the
escapes
exact
attempt on her
same.
life and becomes a
Now we
bounty
make the
Jango Fett's son, Boba, also begins making a name for himself
Oh,
as
the
a
arm joint,
notorious
okay.
bounty hunter, taking a job alongside Asajj. Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka are led to the realm of Mortis by the Father, who seeks someone to take his place as the keeper of the daughter and the son. Anakin proves himself to be worthy of the task, but the Force wielders ultimately destroy themselves, and the Jedi return to the known
Sad.
galaxy. Anakin and Ahsoka grow close, but they both see the less noble side of the Jedi when Ahsoka is wrongly accused of murder and kicked out of the Order. Anakin
Aw,
clears her
that's
name
sad, huh?
and she is invited back, but feeling betrayed by those she respected, she decides to leave.
Badass moment. I never watched any of the Clone Wars until it was all out, and then I watched it like a year before the 6th season aired. It was so good.
Serving in the Clone Wars. A young Padawan named Caleb Doom begins training under the Jedi Master Depa Billaba after they thwart a terrorist
Kanan.
attack on the Jedi Temple together.
Kanan.
Ahsoka learns what life is like for the regular people of the Republic when she meets the Martez sisters, Trace and Rafa. She realizes that
All right,
life
I
is
have a
not
little
as black
elbow
and white as she
joint.
once
I think
believed,
it's an
and
elbow.
continues to see the faults in the Jedi Order who have
Now
lost
we-
touch with the people they are meant to protect. The Jedi gravely decide that the fastest way to end the
D2
Clone
and
Wars would be
D1.
the assassination of Count Dooku. Quinlan Voss is given the job, and he teams up with Asajj Ventress. The two fall in love on the mission, but Quinlan falls to the dark side as he gets close to Dooku.
Wait, Dark
He
Disciple is
redeemed
canon?
and returns to the Jedi
I
when
didn't know that.
Asajj gives her life to save his. In the midst of a battle, a clone murders one of his Jedi generals. An investigation reveals the presence of an inhibitor chip placed in the minds of all clone
Yup.
soldiers. Only 2 clones learn the whole truth. One is killed by his brothers for supposed treason, and the other is captured and placed in stasis aboard a separatist cruiser, which becomes lost in space. In the chaos of the unknown regions, a species called the Chiss thrive in their area of space, the Chiss Ascendancy. One
Oh,
of their
shit.
military commanders, a tactical genius named Thrawn, travels to Batuu on the edge of the known galaxy. There he meets Anakin, who is searching for Padme, who has gone missing. They track down Padme, and together they all shut down a separatist factory. Thrawn returns
All
to
right,
his
so
home where
these
he is
things
responsible for putting down
together.
any threats to his people. A mysterious species called the Grisk works to create civil war within the Chiss Ascendancy and its many rival families.
Oh,
A
C22.
group of genetically mutated clones called the Bad Batch take on special assignments for the Republic, including the rescue of a captured clone
If you haven't
trooper
seen The
named
Bad Batch, you
Echo from
should. Sometimes
separatist
it can be a little
forces.
bit to get through, but
Maul,
oh, it's
having
good.
miraculously survived his injuries at the Battle of Naboo, takes control of the planet Mandalore and leadership of the Mandalorian Death Watch, claiming the Darksaber for himself. He kills Duchess Satine in front of Obi-Wan as an act of revenge. Maul's actions catch the eye of his former master, who sees him as a potential rival and puts an end to his crusade by chasing him throughout the galaxy and killing his mother,
Well.
Paulson. Maul regroups on Mandalore, hoping to lure Obi-Wan and Anakin into a trap, but Ahsoka leads the attack instead. With the help of Satine's sister, Bo-Katan, she is able to capture Maul. As the siege of Mandalore begins,
The fucking
war comes to
cage.
Coruscant for the
Oh,
first
it was
time
so
in
cool when they put him in
1,000
that
years.
cage.
Anakin confronts and kills Count Dooku, again leaving Sidious without an apprentice. Obi-Wan travels to Utapau, where he destroys General
All right, we got
Grievous.
a little
Padme
fucking
becomes
arm.
pregnant with Anakin's child, and he begins to have visions of her death. Desperate to save her, he seeks advice from Palpatine, who not only reveals that he is a Sith Lord, but that he has the power to save Padme. Anakin joins Sidious and takes up the name Darth Vader for a chance to save his wife. He betrays the Jedi Order,
This
helps
in
kill
here,
Mace Windu,
come
and
on.
leads an attack on the Jedi Temple. Simultaneously, Palpatine issues a command to all clones that triggers their chips to kill the Jedi. Within moments, most of the Jedi Order is destroyed. Anakin is then sent to Mustafar to assassinate the remaining leaders of the Confederacy
Oh,
of
whoopsie.
Independent Systems. With their deaths, the
It's
Clone Wars
backwards.
come to an end. Having no one left
No wonder
to
it
oppose
wasn't
him,
working.
Palpatine transitions the Republic into the First
That
Galactic
confused
Empire
the hell out of
and
me.
proclaims himself Emperor of the Galaxy. Caleb, Ahsoka,
I love that he just
Obi-Wan,
makes the
and Yoda
declaration that,
survive the
like,
initial
I'm
attack on
Emperor
the
now.
Jedi, although the chaos allows Maul to escape Republic
And everybody
custody.
applauds.
Yoda confronts Sidious,
This is how the
while
Republic
Obi-Wan
ends,
confronts
Cameron.
Anakin. Yoda is defeated and goes into exile on the planet Dagobah. Anakin is dismembered and badly burned, but left clinging to life by Obi-Wan. Padme dies, giving birth to twins she names Luke and Leia. Leia is hidden with
Wait a
Senator Bail
minute.
Organa on the planet Alderaan, and Obi-Wan takes Luke to his aunt and uncle on Anakin's
Luke and
homeworld
Leia.
Tatooine. Darth
What?
Sidious informs Darth Vader that his wife and child are dead. Sabe is suspicious of Padme's death and is contacted by Bail, who requests her presence on Alderaan. Anakin is forced to wear a biomechanical suit in order to survive, and he takes up his position as a
9
apprentice to
and
Darth Sidious. He
13.
constructs a Sith lightsaber using the Kyber crystal of a fallen Jedi, and is then placed
Fucking
in charge of the
badass.
Empire's
Read
Jedi
Charles
Order,
Soule's
known as the
Darth Vader run.
Inquisitorius.
So
Made
good.
up of fallen Jedi, they are tasked with hunting down and destroying any Jedi that survived the Clone Wars. One of those survivors, the chief archivist of the
All right, we
Jedi
got a
Order,
fist.
Sokasta
Let's
Nu,
go.
returns to the Jedi Temple to recover
And
a
now,
list of Force
that's a right
sensitive
arm,
children.
people.
She is caught and killed in the process, but the list is also destroyed. Her actions lead the Emperor to find a vault full of
Let's
ancient Force
go.
relics,
It's coming
including the helmet
together.
of Sith Lord Momin. The superweapon known as the Death Star continues construction, and the brilliant
All right, I need
scientist Galen Erso is manipulated
C37.
into designing the super laser. Caleb is forced to abandon the ways of the Jedi in order to remain hidden. He changes his name to Kanan Jarrus. Word of a Jedi hiding on Mon Cala reaches the ears of the Empire, so Vader takes a handful of Inquisitors, including the former Jedi Proset Dibs, to eliminate him. They are successful, and the Mon Calamari people find themselves completely subjugated with their king Lee Char taken hostage.
Poor Lee Char.
A Force-sensitive follower of the now-dead Jedi escapes Vader's clutches. Ahsoka hides in the Outer Rim for a year until she meets Bail Organa. They join forces to help systems that have fallen under the oppression of the Empire, and she takes...
Not gonna lie, Bail Organa sometimes gets on my nerves.
Thanks
He's
to
just
the
kind of
help
like a do-goody.
high-ranking Imperial, Galen Erso discovers that he is constructing a weapon of terrible power for the Empire and escapes to the Outer Rim with the help of a
Unlimited
rebel
power. Oh
warlord
God,
named Saw
he's
Gerrera.
reached it.
Darth Vader, the Inquisitors, and their Purge Troopers continue their hunt for surviving Jedi for the next 5 years. Sidious has doubts regarding Vader's loyalty and engineers a test for their survival at the rebellious planet Ryloth. Their ship is shot down, and Vader is forced to more fully embrace the dark side to keep them alive. Having destroyed most of
All
the
right, we
surviving
got another
Jedi,
shoulder
Darth Vader is
piece.
gifted a planet from his master. He chooses Mustafar and
E8,
builds a fortress
9.
there with the help of Momin's helmet, which is able to possess anyone who wears it. The fortress is designed to reach the netherworld of the Force, where Vader
There is a
hopes to
queue.
resurrect
Yeah,
his
yeah.
wife.
I'm not playing.
Momin betrays
So I'm
Vader
not
and
playing the
instead
queue in any
resurrects
particular
himself,
order. It's
but
really
is
just like
quickly
what I want to
destroyed.
play, but I will
A
go through
surviving
those, like
Padawan
eventually
named
all of
Cal
them.
Kestis is discovered by the Inquisitors, but he is
So yeah,
rescued
that's
by
just how I'm
Seer
kind of doing
Junior,
it.
who also
Because
survived over
otherwise,
6
I would be
months.
playing a bunch of games that
Together, they
I
attempt to
like
track down
back to back to
Holocron
back that I'm not
containing
like
another
super excited to
copy of
play
the
back
list
to
of
back to back.
Force-sensitive
So
children, which was hidden by Cordova during his
that's how
research
that
into the
works.
Zepho.
But
Once the list is recovered,
I
they
also am
decide the
not
children are
accepting
safer in
it. So
hiding,
like you
and it
can
is destroyed
when
once
you
and for all.
put your
Moff Tarkin,
points
a
in,
merciless
I only
Imperial
accept it
leader,
once I
is
do it. That
tasked
way
with
your
the protection
points
of
aren't
the
just
Death
gone.
Star after Galen's escape. Rebels come close to discovering
All
the
right,
secret
there we
construction,
go.
but with the help of Darth Vader, Tarkin not only destroys them, but reveals an Imperial traitor.
2 and 1.
This success prompts his promotion to Grand Moff, the first of the Empire.
Fucking Grand Moff
Galen Erso
Tarkin.
remains hidden for 4 years, but is tracked down by his former colleague and Imperial Director of Advanced Weapons Research, Orson Krennic. Galen's wife is killed, he is taken into Imperial custody, and is forced to continue working on the Death Star, leaving his daughter Jyn in the care of Saw Gerrera. On Corellia, a young orphan named Han survives as a member of the White Worm Gang.
Okay,
He
say what
falls
you
in
want.
love
I
with
kind of
a
enjoyed
fellow scrum
Solo.
rat named Kira, and they plan to escape their miserable
it was
lives,
okay.
buy their own ship, and fly wherever they want. But Kira is caught during their escape attempt.
I'm very
She
excited
is
to see
sold
more
to the
Kira.
criminal syndicate known as Crimson Dawn, which is controlled by Maul. Han desperately joins the Imperial Academy.
Fucking
to
let's
get off
go,
Corellia, where he
Maul!
butts heads with authority and
Maul
his
deserves
fellow
everything.
students. One of them, named Bylert Valance, suffers serious injuries on a mission, but Han defies orders to rescue him. Valance is forced out of Imperial service and becomes a bounty hunter under the mentorship of Nakano Lash. On a mission with fellow bounty hunters Boba Fett and Bossk, Lash
13 and
betrays them
12.
and kills their client, which puts a price on all their heads. After 8 years in hiding, Kanan has become a drunk freighter pilot. He meets a rebel named Hera, with whom he becomes infatuated. He sobers up
becomes
and
a
fights
drunk
to protect
freighter
a small
pilot.
planet in the Outer Rim, which
Wow.
requires him to reveal himself as a Force user. He joins Hera on her ship, the Ghost. Their actions gain the attention of a young Imperial captain named Rey Sloane. Obi-Wan continues to watch over Luke, who begins showing evidence of his potential strength in the Force. Curious about the might of the Empire, Thrawn
All
allows
right,
himself
we
to
got
be
another
captured and is
arm
taken
done
before the
here.
Emperor, who is so impressed with the man that he is admitted to the Imperial Navy. A gambler named Lando Calrissian and his droid partner L337 aboard their ship, the Millennium Falcon, unknowingly discover the construction of a mysterious device that will later be known as the Phalanx Redux Transmitter. They
Oh, I have
share
no
a
idea
number
about any of
adventures
that.
that Lando documents as the Calrissian Chronicles. When they help a group of slaves escape Imperial custody, the Falcon is impounded on the
F7
planet
and
Bandai,
11.
so Lando heads there to find a way to break it out. After 3 years in Imperial service, Han meets a Wookiee named Chewbacca on the planet Mimban.
It's always so
Together,
weird to
they
me that
escape
he
the
worked for
Empire
them
with
for
a
3
group of
years.
criminals run by a man named Beckett. They also travel to Vandor to rob an Imperial train, which would earn them enough money to
I
retire.
dropped a piece.
The job fails.
I
thanks to
dropped
a
it.
rebel sympathizer named Infus Nest, and they are forced to answer to Crimson
It's
Dawn,
fine.
where
We're
Han
good.
is reunited with
All right.
Kira. They hire Lando and break out the Falcon to attempt another robbery, but
Got a
ultimately
second
Han
hand.
and Chewie decide to help Infus. L3 and Beckett are killed, and Kira is forced to move deeper into Crimson Dawn ranks to
Put this
protect Han.
here.
Jyn Erso fights with Saw Gerrera and his partisans until he leaves her helpless in the middle of a
Good.
battle.
Here.
16 years old and alone, she is forced to live a life of crime to survive. On the outer rim planet of Lothal, a boy named Zer Leonis looks forward to joining his sister in the Imperial Academy until she goes missing. Believing the Empire is behind her disappearance, he makes plans to infiltrate the Academy to find her.
Nice. Where
On
was
the
it?
same planet, another boy, an orphan named
Oh my
Ezra
gosh.
Bridger, inadvertently assists some rebels in stealing some supplies from the Empire. Those rebels turn out to be Kanan and Hera. Ezra learns that he has abilities in the Force, and Kanan decides to train him. During that time, they discover and visit a Jedi temple on Lothal. Ezra also infiltrates the Imperial Academy and meets Zara.
I
The
can't
two
figure
young
out how this.
spies help
Oh,
each other
oh,
in their
oh.
respective missions. Zara is eventually transferred to a more elite academy on Arcanus. There he meets Commandant Brindle Hux, who believes the future
Nope.
of the
How
Empire
the hell
requires
does this-
a marriage of Imperial and Republic doctrines.
How does
Zara,
it
with
go
the help
together?
of Ezra, is able to find and rescue his sister, who is imprisoned after the Empire discovered her Force sensitivity. Leia Organa becomes a junior legislator in the Imperial Senate and learns that both her adoptive parents are members of the growing insurgency against the Empire. She begins helping Bail and Breha Organa secretly support the rebellion and even helps the Ghost Crew on Lothal. Kanan, Ezra, and
Come
the rest of
on.
their crew cause enough problems for the Empire that Darth Vader himself is sent to hunt them down. Ahsoka also joins their crew when their small cell joins the larger rebellion. The three Force
Definitely
users
goes
travel
in
to
here.
Malachor, hoping to find a way
Just
to
gotta
defeat
wedge
the
it.
Sith. There they find Maul, who
We did
has
it.
returned to the planet
We
after
did it.
apparently losing control of Crimson Dawn. He attempts to pull Ezra to the dark
Boom.
side and
Now we
blinds
put the
Kanan before
fucking
retreating.
hand in here.
Darth Vader finds them at the Sith Temple and confronts Ahsoka. She fights him long enough to allow Kanan and Ezra to escape with a Sith holocron. Han, having won the Millennium Falcon from Lando in a game of Sabacc, takes a job that involves the Phalanx Redux transmitter that Lando encountered 5 years earlier. Han briefly acquires it, but is forced to
Bam.
abandon it to
And
space. Senator
got another
Thrawn
arm.
publicly denounces Emperor Palpatine and rallies the
Let's
various rebel
fucking
cells into a
go.
unified movement. As their organization continues to grow, Thrawn, who has risen to the rank
All
of
right.
Grand Admiral, is tasked
Now
with
let's
the
get his
destruction of
jetpack
Kanan
built.
and Hera's specific cell. Maul reappears and uses
Jetpack
Ezra
looks
and the
weirdly
Sith holocron
complicated.
to determine that Obi-Wan
Fucking
survived
love
the
Maul
Clone
and
Wars.
Rebels.
He hunts down the old Jedi Master and is finally killed for good.
No
Darksaber
fucking
passes to
way.
Sabine
Hold
Wren,
on.
a Mandalorian
Pause.
member of Hera.
So I didn't realize. I think they give you the. I think they give you the stuff so you can make him. I think they give you the brown uniform too. That's kind of cool. But not like.
Meanwhile, Thrawn finds the location of Hera's rebel base and forces them to retreat to Yavin 4. He is then recalled by the Emperor and paired up with Darth Vader on a mission to Batuu, where they first met. They investigate a new potential threat to the Empire, which turns out to be the Grisk, who appear to have successfully begun a civil war
weird.
among the Chiss in Thrawn's absence. Sabine and her friends lead an attack on Imperial-occupied Mandalore, using the Darksaber to rally other Mandalorians
All right.
to their cause. Sabine then
On
passes
to the
Darksaber
jetpack.
to Bo-Katan as she returns to fighting with the rebellion. Unfortunately, the Empire does not take kindly to the uprising and sends their full might to pacify the planet. Countless Mandalorians are killed in what becomes known as the Great Purge, and the Darksaber is
Yeah, so there's
likely
two
lost
different
to the
jetpacks
Empire
too, it
at
looks
this
like.
time. When Grand Admiral Thrawn returns from his mission against the Grisk, he develops a new starfighter called the TIE Defender, which begins production on Lothal.
Interesting.
Ezra and his friends return to Lothal to destroy the factory and liberate the planet, while Thrawn is yet again called away to investigate the growing threat of the Grisk. Ezra and the crew of the Ghost are ultimately successful in the destruction of the factory, but Kanan is killed in the process. Ezra returns to the Jedi Temple on the planet to investigate Imperial activity there. He finds a portal to a mysterious place known as the World Between Worlds.
I know all this, but I also don't want the spoilers.
Outside of
It's all
space
good.
and time. He is able to see Ahsoka's duel with Darth Vader on Malachor, and he
From the
saves
season
her from
before.
death,
Oh,
but
so
each of them
cool.
have to return to their own
Basically, Jedi time
Ezra
travel.
leads one final mission against the Imperial occupation on Lothal. Not only is he successful in liberating the planet, but he also removes Grand Admiral Thrawn as a present danger by jumping into an unknown area of the galaxy with him.
Yep, he
When
just
Han is
like
held hostage by Imperial bureaucrats,
disappears.
Chewbacca is forced to investigate a nexus in the dark side where he discovers an ancient book, which is then stolen by rebel operatives named Cassian Andor and K2SO, but Chewie successfully rescues Han anyway.
There we go, there we
Still
go.
hoping to unlock the secrets of saving Padme, Darth Vader begins to seek the Bright Star beneath his castle. He tracks down the last living descendant of Lady Corvax, who is the only person able to access the relic. But the smuggler stops the ritual and escapes, saving the galaxy from untold pain. The
Oh
destruction of the
shit.
Bright Star allows
I need to
Luke
finish
depart
Vader
and
Immortal. Holy crap.
As the Death Star nears completion, Galen gets a message out to Saw Gerrera and Jyn, who reunite on Jedha. Galen claims to have left a flaw in the superweapon's design. Jyn personally witnesses the might of the Death Star when it fires a test shot onto Jedha, killing a city full of people, Saw Gerrera,
Fucking Jedha.
and most
I
of
love
his
Jedha.
partisans. Jyn
That was
leads a
a-
group of rebels in an attack on the Imperial planet Scarif, where the Death Star plans are held. The Battle of Scarif is the first large-scale act of open war against the Empire as a truly unified rebel alliance. Krennic, Jyn, and her entire team are killed in the mission, including Cassian and K2SO, but the plans are successfully stolen and passed on to Princess
Oh,
Leia of Alderaan.
B22,
Her
B22,
ship is
B22,
captured by
B22.
Darth Vader above
That is a-
Tatooine, and she sends the plans in an escape pod to the planet below with 2 droids in hopes that they can find Obi-Wan for safe delivery to Alderaan.
Got it.
As the Empire searches for the droids, C-3PO and R2-D2, they
Here.
murder Luke's aunt and uncle. Luke and the droids make their way to Obi-Wan, who begins training Luke as a Jedi as they travel to Alderaan after booking passage with Han Solo and Chewbacca. But Grand Moff Tarkin orders the destruction of Alderaan as an example of its power, killing Bail and Breha Organa along with every being on the planet. When Luke and the others arrive, they are captured by the Death Star. Luke, Han, and Chewbacca rescue Leia and escape, but Obi-Wan confronts his old apprentice
poor
and is struck
Obi-Wan.
down. Leia delivers the plans to Yavin 4, and Luke joins the counterattack against the Death Star. The rebels are able to exploit the weakness placed by Galen Erso, and the station is destroyed, but Darth Vader survives. Luke, Han, and Chewbacca are given medals for
You
their
get that
part
really
in
cool
the
scene.
Battle of Yavin. But the discovery of the base on Yavin 4 means the rebellion is forced to become mobile. Leia races across the galaxy, gathering surviving Alderaanians and bringing them to safety. On top of receiving a medal, Han is given a large sum of money so that he can pay off his debts to a gangster named Jabba the Hutt. But his poor decision-making leads him to lose it all, and so he and
Oh,
Chewie
no.
continue to help the Alliance,
Fucking dude
rescuing rebel
cannot
spies whose
help
covers
himself.
were compromised in the wake of the Death Star's destruction. Chewbacca also frees a number of slaves on the planet Andelm 4. Luke continues his Jedi training as best he can on his own. During his own mission to rescue a rebel operative,
I need
he gains
sandpaper or
some minor
something, I
control
think,
over
to, like,
telepathy and some
harder
understanding
out.
of the inner workings of a lightsaber. On another mission, he travels to a ruined Jedi temple on Deveron, where he's able to train against remotes and greatly improve his mastery over the weapon. The loss of the Death Star inspires Imperial
Bam.
Admiral Garrick Versio to
Got the
build
base
an
of the
elite team
jetpack.
soldiers dubbed
Now we
Inferno
just
Squad.
put all these little
His
things on
daughter,
it,
Iden
such
Versio,
as
successfully
19, 12,
leads
and
them on their
13.
first mission to find, infiltrate, and destroy some of the surviving members of Saw Gerrera's partisans. Leia, Han,
Bam, that's
Chewie, and Luke attack
19.
a major weapons facility
12
on
and
Simoon
13.
1. There, Luke is met by Darth Vader, who recognizes his old lightsaber
Oh,
wielded by
B,
the
12,
young
and 13.
man.
Fucking
Vader
Christ.
begins an investigation with the help of the bounty hunter Boba Fett, who learns
Dude,
that
the moment
Luke's
when he
last
says
name is
Skywalker.
Skywalker. Vader realizes the Emperor has been deceiving him for nearly 2
Dude,
decades.
this is a good
and
one, too.
enlists the
Gillen's
help of
run
an
is pretty good,
archaeologist
too.
named Dr. Afra to create a personal army that he can use to overthrow the Emperor. Afra helps, but ultimately betrays him to the Emperor, who sees Vader's actions as assurance that he has devoted himself to the dark side and gives him command of Imperial forces. Fearing Vader, Afra goes into hiding. In her place,
Bam.
Vader makes an ally and Queen Trios of the industrial
We're learning a
world
lot about Star Wars lore today,
Han is
Cam.
hired to participate in a famous race as a cover to pick up and rescue more.
Ah, we got the
He still
jetpack
hasn't
working.
paid off
Okay,
his
this
debt
is so
to
cool.
Jabba.
Now we have to
Luke
actually
journals of
put this shit
Obi-Wan to
together.
learn more about the Jedi. A woman named Sana tracks down Han, claiming to be his wife, but their marriage was part of a scam that
It's
he
a
cheated on,
sham.
and she simply wants her share. She enters the service of the rebellion as a mercenary. A rebel agent on Coruscant is presented with a chance to assassinate Palpatine. His attempt fails, and he is horribly scarred. Learning the truth that the Emperor is a Sith Lord, he begins a crusade to murder Imperials being held in a secret prison until he is stopped by Leia.
Yeah, he does.
Luke, Leia, Han, and the others steal a Star Destroyer so they can deliver supplies to a starving planet under Imperial blockade. They are barely successful after coming into contact with an elite stormtrooper unit called the Scar Squadron. Dr. Aphra returns to archaeology and, with the help of her murderous droids 000 and BT-1, discovers the location of
000
the
is
ancient
fucking
fortress
murder
of
C-3PO.
Ordu
It's so
Spectu. She
weird.
recovers the memory crystal of a fallen Jedi named Rur and hopes to sell it on the black market. She first seeks to activate the crystal by manipulating Luke Skywalker into helping her achieve an audience with the parasitic Queen of the Screaming Citadel. The Queen attempts to kidnap Luke, but is defeated.
I was not made for such dexterous activities.
Aphra then organizes an auction for the crystal, but 000 alerts Darth Vader of her whereabouts. The droid forces Aphra to release him as her servant to help her survive, and she complies. Now forced to serve the psychotic droid, she retreats, and the Rur crystal is recovered.
There's like a little thing in there that sticks out, so you can only fit it in a certain way.
Hoping he can unlock his true potential. She is successful, but encrypts them and alerts the Empire of her master's location to keep him from killing her. She is then sent to an Imperial prison, where she unknowingly meets the mad Dr. Cornelius Evazan, who helps her escape.
Fucking weird,
he
dude.
captures Aphra and 000, placing bombs inside both of them, and then drops them on the law-obsessed planet Milvain, simply because he thinks it would be entertaining to watch them have to work together.
I have the gay
The two
volume.
of them
Be ready
disable
for
the explosives,
my
and in the
comic
process,
club.
they completely disrupt the lifestyle of the
Warm.
planet, causing an uprising against the Empire and Milvain law enforcement. Lando
He has like a
Calrissian,
weird
having
love affair
continued his life as a
with
scoundrel and
a
gambler,
like
steeped in
cyborg
debt. He is
person
hired to
from
steal a ship full of priceless art. The ship belongs
the
to
Empire.
Palpatine, and
Cool.
the art is of Sith origins.
Just weird.
Momin's helmet is on board, and when it begins corrupting members of his team, Lando destroys the ship and escapes with his friend Lobot. After beginning construction on a second Death Star, the Empire returns to what remains of Jeddah to harvest the kyber crystals that power the weapon super laser. Luke,
Bam.
Leia, Han, and Chewie help the final remaining survivors of Saw Gerrera's partisans in defense of the moon. Queen Trios offers herself to Leia as an informant, and the two begin working together. Still seeking a permanent base, the rebels investigate the planet Crate, which was once used as a hideout by Leia's father. They set up some minor defenses, but are discovered and attacked by
Hold on.
forcing the Alliance to stay on the moon.
Hold on now.
Hoping to find more allies in the shipbuilders of Mon Cala, Luke, Leia, Han, and Chewie attempt to break Lee Char
We
out
did
of
it.
Imperial prison. He is
We got a
killed in the
jetpack.
process, but delivers a
Let's
stirring speech
fucking
to his subjects
go.
to liberate their fleet and join the Rebel
Fucking
Alliance.
swing his cape out.
With
He's
the Rebel
got
fleet
little
and
holes
leadership
here.
gathered in one place, Queen Trios
Bam.
betrays Leia, calling the Imperial fleet to their location. Many members of Alliance High Commander killed,
Hey.
and survivors scatter across the galaxy.
All right, now we
Luke,
just
Leia,
put his
and
weapon
Han become
together.
stranded on the moon Hubin, where they are taken in by former mercenaries known as Clan Marcona. Scar Squadron eventually tracks them down, the moon is evacuated, and Luke, Leia, and Han rejoin what remains of the Imperial fleet. Hoping to strike back at the
and-
Empire, Leia creates a plan to remove Queen Trios and Shu Torun as Imperial assets. They successfully disable the planet's infrastructure with minimal loss of life, but Leia does kill Trio in self-defense.
Yeah.
From there, Luke, Leia, Han, Chewie, and 3PO split off on various
Very
missions.
sad.
Luke is sent to evacuate a rebel cell where he meets a Force-sensitive thief that teaches him a little more about the Force. Han and Leia run into her ex-boyfriend, who helps them lure the Empire into a trap set by 3PO and Chewie. Their respective missions successful, the
All right, we got a
heroes
gun?
and their new allies rendezvous at the site of the new rebel base on the ice planet Hoth. Dr. Aphra's previous escapades catch the attention
The gun
of the head
goes
of the
in his
Empire's
holster.
propaganda machine, who recruits her to help assassinate the
Boom.
Emperor. The rogue archaeologist
And now we
betrays
make
her new
his
ally to
long
Darth Vader,
fucking
which puts her
weapon.
back on his good side at least as much as possible. She is assigned to a new archaeological task force that is researching old historical sites, hoping to find the new rebel base.
Great Dragon?
Aphra discovers that the rebels have established their base on Hoth, and she once again betrays Vader by scrambling the information, buying the Alliance a few more months
Oh,
of safety
shit.
before escaping. Vader runs into even more problems when he becomes the target of an
didn't know that.
assassination plot led by Bylert Valance. The attempt is foiled thanks to Dengar, who served as a spy within Valance's team, but Bylert negotiates his freedom by leading the Empire to the criminals that hired him. The rebel base remains secret for about 3 total months until being discovered by the Empire, forcing an evacuation. Luke travels to the Dagobah system to find Yoda
Know
and
about
begins
that.
to train under the old Jedi Master.
Meanwhile, Darth Vader chases
Boom.
Han, Leia, and Chewbacca to Cloud City, which is under the ownership of Han's old friend Lando. Han and Leia fall in love along the way, but Vader forces Lando to betray the rebels, and Han is frozen in carbonite and taken by Boba Fett to be delivered to Jabba. Luke races off to save his friends. He is beaten in a duel with Vader, who reveals that he is
F-16.
Luke's
My
father.
bad.
Vader requests Luke join him to kill the Emperor and rule the galaxy together, but instead Luke escapes Cloud City with
I liked
Lando
it.
and Leia.
Vader in
They
like
attempt
real
to
quick
rejoin the
motion
rebel
goes
fleet,
from
but
like,
their forces are
hey
scattered
son,
and unable to communicate
join
with
me,
each other for
let's
fear of
rule the
attracting
galaxy.
imperial attention.
You're like, you
So
know what?
Luke,
I love my
Leia,
son.
and
I'm just
Lando
gonna like
return to
die
Cloud
for
City.
him.
Lando frees his friend Lobot and makes sure his factories can't be used
Like
to
he just
further
is
the
okay with
Imperial
that
war
real
machine.
fast.
Luke searches for his lost lightsaber, and the Force leads him to Verla, who encountered Darth Vader on Mon Cala years prior. She teaches Luke about his father and tells him where he can find a replacement lightsaber. Meanwhile, the rebels work to create new codes that the Empire can't crack under task forces led by Shara Bey and Kez Dameron. Darth Vader begins to seek revenge upon the people that conspired to hide his son from him.
Oh, I figured
His
it out. Okay.
investigation leads him
We got
to
a little
Sabe,
scope on there.
Padme's former body double.
Oh, thank you,
Believing
Cam.
Vader to be responsible for
Yeah,
Padme's death,
it
she
was
leads him
meaningless.
into a
Yeah,
trap.
sad.
The Sith
Sad.
Lord escapes, but spares Sabe's life. Angered by the show of mercy, the Emperor attacks Vader and abandons him on Mustafar to be hunted by a Jedi killer named Ochi of Bestoon. Again, Vader bests his attacker, who leads him to the Emperor's secret facilities on the planet Exegol, an
Whoa,
ancient
what?
stronghold of the Sith located in the
I have no
unknown
idea about any of this.
Meanwhile, Valance, Boba Fett, and Bossk are all alerted to a sighting of Nakano Lash. They all drop what they're doing to seek revenge for her betrayal years ago, even Boba Fett, who is still in custody of a carbonite-encased Han Solo. Valance learns his former mentor is harboring a child in need of protection. Fett kills Lash, but Valance delivers the child to the rebellion for safekeeping. In a fight with Dengar, Valance learns of Han Solo's capture. Remembering how the smuggler once
Boom,
saved
we got a
his life,
stock.
he heads off to see if he can
Now we
return the
just
favor.
need the little strap.
Dr. Aphra is hired by an eccentric art collector named Ronan Tag to find legendary relics called the Rings of Vale. She succeeds, and Ronan betrays
She's a
her,
fucking
so
space
Aphra nearly
archaeologist,
kills
which
him
is
during
dope
her
as
escape.
fuck.
This catches the attention of Ronan's aunt, Domina Tag, who forces Aphra to recover some Nile technology for her that could bring great fortune to her company.
Oh, whoa, what?
Aphra teams up with her former girlfriend, Sana Staros, to finish the job and stay alive. A group of TIE fighter pilots known as Shadow Wing begin to make a name for themselves. They witness firsthand a loss of faith in Imperial leadership and stop an admiral from leading a small secession against the Emperor.
Bam.
A
Got a
rebel group
fucking
known as
rifle.
Twilight
Let's
Company
go.
participates in the Battle of Inyusu Tor, which is not a major victory, but does
So
bring the
instead of the
Solstin people more
jetpack-
firmly into the rebellion. The Rebel Alliance discovers the Empire's second Death Star and begins planning
Put
an all-out
this on
attack after
here.
learning that Emperor
Yeah.
Palpatine will soon be visiting the space station. Fearing the Empire will notice their
Need
mustering
a
forces at
A37.
Sullust, Leia offers herself up as high-profile bait, leading the Empire on a distracting chase across the galaxy. When she returns, Luke tells her he has a plan to rescue Han from Jabba the Hutt. The
She's like, "What is it?"
rebellion
And he's like,
intercepts
"Just
a
trust
coded
me."
Imperial message that would reveal their
You'll
attack
know
on
when
the
the time
second
is
Death
right.
Star is a trap, but Inferno Squad infiltrates one of their ships and recovers the data. Leia and Chewbacca travel to Ord Mantell, where they are attacked by the bounty hunter Bosch. They defeat him, and Leia takes his armor as a disguise.
Okay,
She uses
take
it
this
to create
strap
cover for
off.
herself and Chewbacca to infiltrate Jabba's palace. Han is successfully
Interesting,
rescued, Jabba the
interesting,
Hutt is killed in the
interesting. Okay,
process,
cool, cool,
and Boba
cool.
Fett is presumed dead. Luke returns to Dagobah, where Yoda confirms that Darth Vader is indeed his father
have-
before passing away. Immediately after, the spirit of Obi-Wan tells Luke that Leia is his
Big ol'
twin sister.
spear.
Luke returns to the Rebel fleet, who prepares their assault on the second Death Star, which orbits the forest moon Endor. Luke, Han, and Leia
so
lead
scared
a
I'm gonna
ground mission
bend
to
this.
disable the Death Star's defenses, but Luke decides to leave to try to bring his father back to the light side. He tells Leia all about their messed up
Dumb
family
choice, my
history
guy.
and surrenders himself to the Empire. The rebellion falls into the trap, and in the Battle of Endor, Luke successfully redeems Darth Vader, who
All right, we got his little
sacrifices
Beskar
himself to kill
spear.
Darth
Very
Sidious,
cool.
becoming Anakin Skywalker once more in his final
And
moments
most
of life.
importantly-
Luke escapes as the second Death Star is destroyed, and what remains of the Empire retreats. Han and Leia get married shortly after. The Emperor's spirit flees to Exegol. There it inhabits a faulty clone of his body, and he begins work to one day regain control of the galaxy by constructing the largest fleet the galaxy has ever
His
seen.
spirit leaves
Back
his
in the known
body.
Galaxy, another secret contingency plan set up by Palpatine is carried out by his most trusted commanders. Operation Cinder targets not only rebellious
I need
worlds, but the Imperial planets
A38.
that failed to protect their leader.
Inferno Squad falls apart in the wake of the destruction and defects to the Rebel Alliance, which has reformed into the New Republic. Inferno Squad is just one of many
Boom.
task forces
That's where
sent
the
out to
spear
hunt
goes.
down high-ranking Imperials. Erica Quell, a former member of Shadow Wing, defects to the New Republic. Her knowledge of the enemy allows her to be part of a small intelligence project called Alphabet Squadron, a more targeted task force meant to wipe out the
we had
elite
you
ties
here.
of Shadow Wing. But when the rest of her
Right.
squadron learns that she helped to destroy an entire planet in Operation Cinder, she returns to the Empire.
Okay.
Feeling that the New Republic's priorities
Here.
are not where they should be, Han and Chewbacca go rogue and lead
Oh,
a
wait,
mission
hold
to
on.
liberate Chewie's enslaved homeworld, Kashyyyk.
Pause.
The New Republic eventually decides to help, and the Wookiees are freed. Chewie decides to stay on Kashyyyk with his family.
I'm
Luke begins
missing
traveling the
a
galaxy to
crucial
research the Jedi Order
component.
and gather
Dun dun. Dun. What in the world? There's supposed to be a base. Wait, did I not? There's supposed to be a base that he stands on. Ah, found it. I'm gonna say that doesn't make sense. Where the hell did that go? All right.
missing relics of their past. He recovers a Jedi star compass leading to Ahch-To and the first Jedi temple.
We're gonna
Dula
deck
leads
him
a secret
out
New Republic
as
mission to
best
create
we
a
can
capital
right
ship
now.
that can more effectively fight what's left of
We're
the
gonna give
Empire
him
called the
his
Starhawk. Vanguard
spear,
Squadron
we're gonna
is
give him
tasked with its
his
protection, and they fight against the
jetpack.
Imperial Titan Squadron. Titan pilots are able to destroy the Starhawk prototype, delaying a New Republic victory and forcing the ship's creators to start from scratch. Erica Quell works undercover to sabotage the Empire. She learns of a secret
We're gonna give
database on
him
Coruscant that catalogs the
his
war
dark
crimes of
saber.
every member of the Imperial machine. She stops its destruction and is given a partial pardon from Mon Mothma for her efforts. 1 year after the
Okay.
Battle of Endor, Operation Cinder comes to its conclusion at the Battle of Jakku, which sees the purposeful destruction of most of the
There we
Empire.
go.
Ray Sloan, who has since been promoted to the rank of Grand Admiral, transmits coordinates to the few survivors who are considered worthy. They escape into the unknown regions and rendezvous with the Emperor's secret super
This
star
makes my
destroyer, the Eclipse.
third
Most of the
ever
Imperials left
model
behind
kit,
surrender, and the Galactic Civil War
which
comes
I'm
to
very
an
excited
end.
about. This
On
is
the
so
very same day, Leia gives birth to Ben Solo. Mon Mothma quickly begins to demilitarize the New Republic to assure the galaxy
its
that the
foot
time for
right
fighting has
here.
ended. Leia trains as a Jedi with Luke for a time on the jungle world Ajan Kloss, but she decides to stop when she senses danger in her son's future. When Ben is
Fun.
2 years old, Han and Lando are forced to revisit
Okay,
their
well,
former adventures
he's an
involving the
amputee
final
now.
Redux transmitter.
Sadly,
They learn the device has the power to
just
turn all droids
lost
into
his
killers,
leg. He
and they
doesn't
seek
know
it out and
how
destroy
to
it
stand
before
up
it can be
anymore.
activated.
It's
With a
a bad
significantly
day on the
smaller
battlefield
military
for
performing
him.
under a new government, much of the galaxy falls into disarray. In
There
the
we
Outer
go.
Rim, a group of Mandalorians struggle to survive. One of them, named Din Djarin, works as a bounty hunter
Din
and is tasked with
Djarin!
delivering a Force-sensitive child of the same species
We
as
got
Jedi
him.
Master
Oh,
Yoda
hold
to
on.
a small group
Hold
of
on.
surviving Imperials. Instead, he takes the child under his protection, running from Moff Gideon, who now wields the Mandalorian darksaber.
Oh,
As he
does
protects the
he?
child, he recovers
Or is it
Boba
right
Fett's
here?
armor from a local lawman named Cobb Vanth on Tatooine.
That's him.
He hunts
That's
for more
him. We
Mandalorians
did
and meets
it.
Bo-Katan, who is on her own mission to reclaim the darksaber
Oh.
from Gideon. She guides Din to Ahsoka, who is on her own mission to hunt down Grand Admiral Thrawn,
I'm so
who's
excited.
been
This thing
missing
is
for
so
9
freaking
years.
cool. I love these
Ahsoka learns the child's name is Grogu
so much.
and leads Din to a Jedi temple
Even though they're
on
kind of a pain to put
Tython,
together,
where
and I'll still
Grogu
probably
can
buy the
reach
Black
out to
Series
Force
anyway.
for help.
I
There,
just thought
Boba
this was
Fett
so fucking
finally
cool.
catches up with
And for
Din
35%
and
off, why
takes back
not?
his armor. The
So yeah,
Empire captures
there we
Grogu
go.
and
We
takes
got
him to
us
Gideon, but not
a
before
full
the
Mando
child
figure.
reaches out to someone through the Force. Din leads a team including Boba Fett and Bo-Katan
Very
to
awesome,
rescue
very
Grogu,
awesome.
and would have been unsuccessful if not for the
Very
intervention
cool.
of Luke Skywalker, who heard the child's call and comes to help. With Din and Grogu's
Boom.
permission, Luke takes the young
He's
one
fucking
away to
kitted
teach him the ways
out.
of the Force.
Let's
the darksaber
go.
passes to Din, much to Bo-Katan's frustration. Boba Fett returns to Tatooine and takes control of
Ah, la 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 la. Oh, no, 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 no. I don't know how far he's going, but we are watching that tonight. So that is not on the menu right now. Thank you guys so much. This has been so cool. I had so much fun. And I have so many pieces left. They give you so many freaking options on like what you want to make. So I have so many cool pieces, and you can like configure these however you want. Like I said, the Stormtrooper one's really cool because you can turn it into different types. You can't take his helmet off. I think the Black Series one you might be able to, because current Black Series you can do that. Like Wrecker, you can actually take his helmet off and he has a head. So I'm hoping in the future they keep that up. But yeah, thank you so much. This has been really cool. It got me in the mood for Boba Fett. I'm very excited to watch now. And I hope you guys had fun. I've never done react content where I just watch videos and do something, but I figured it'd be better than just watching me slowly build this, to have something else entertaining in the background. But yeah, thank you so much. This will be available on the VODs channel. I mean, I don't know why you'd watch this on the VOD, but you can. If you're just interested in the building process. And yeah, thank you, Keats, for resubbing. Thank you, everybody who showed up. Mario, Hades, everybody. Cam, thank you so much for your participation. Yeah, I will be back. I think the schedule says tomorrow. Let's double check. The schedule says, by the way, if you're looking for the schedule, you can check the links. There it is. It's on the Discord and on Twitter. So I do have tomorrow playing Inscription, starting early, 1 to 4, because I am off work tomorrow, so that'll be fun. I might stream Friday, might not, because it's leave, and I don't know when I want to do that or if I want to do that. But if I do, the best way to find out is Twitter or Discord. It's very possible that I might. I would almost say it is possible. I probably will. But definitely check those places out. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me here just to get notified if I go live. And yeah, thank you so much. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Go watch Book of Boba Fett on Disney Plus. Let me know what you think. I'm watching it tonight. Have a great one. Bye.